Good afternoon. Welcome to the November 15th meeting of the Board of County Commissioners. Commissioner Long just said, I don't think I've seen you use the gavel all year, so I wanted to always try to take care of the vice chair. Before we begin today's meeting, if you would join me in a moment of silence as we recognize the life and service of former Commissioner Sally Parks, just a tremendous community leader, public servant, and friend to us all. So a moment of silence, please. Thank you very much. Today we are fortunate to have for our invocation Father Douglas Rimmer from St. Giles Episcopal Church in Pinellas Park, followed by the Pledge of Allegiance led by Commissioner Seal. Father Rimmer, would you please come to the podium? Please rise. Facing us. Thank you, sir.
You want traditional Elizabethan English or contemporary?
Your choice.
Let us pray. Almighty and everlasting God, who hast given us this good land for our heritage, we humbly beseech thee that we may always be a people mindful of thy favor and glad to do thy will. Bless our land with honorable industry, just laws, and sound learning. Save us from violence, discord, and confusion, from pride and arrogance, and from every evil way. Defend our liberties and endue with thy grace and favor those to whom in thy name we entrust the authority of government. And here we pray especially that thou wilt send down upon the commissioners of the county of Pinellas the spirit of wisdom, charity, and justice, that with steadfast purpose they may faithfully serve in their offices to promote the well-being of all thy people, breaking down barriers which may divide us, working to cause hatreds to cease and suspicions to disappear, and remembering the account which we must all one day give, striving always to be faithful stewards of the work entrusted to their care. This we pray in thy holy name. Amen.
Amen. I pledge allegiance
To the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Father. All right, we have a presentation, and I'll come down for that.
Let me get. I'm not in sync today. I'm just not in sync today.
We're excited this week to recognize National Apprenticeship Week with a proclamation. I'd like to invite Steve Meyer, Interim CEO and CFO for CareerSource Pinellas, Mark Hunt from Pinellas County Schools, Dr. Rebecca Sarla with Ultimate Medical Academy, Sean McDonald with the International Brotherhood of Electrical Workers, Zach Holland with Plumbers and Pipe Fitters Labor Union 123, and Michael Long and Hunter Thompson, both from Sail Future Academy, to join us up front. Good afternoon, all. Good afternoon. Thanks for being here. 2022 marks the 85th anniversary of the National Apprenticeship Act and the 8th Annual National Apprenticeship Week taking place November 14th through the 20th. Registered apprenticeship programs enable employers to develop and train their future workforce while offering career seekers affordable paths to secure high-paying jobs. The Florida Department of Education, the Florida Department of Economic Opportunity, and CareerSource Florida have partnered to create Apprentice Florida, which encourages Floridians to embrace apprenticeships as a proven training method benefiting both job seekers and businesses. Pinellas County recognizes the role of registered apprenticeship in expanding opportunities in our workforce that are exclusive of individuals who've been historically underserved, marginalized, and adversely affected by persistent poverty and inequality. Thus, it provides a path for all qualified individuals to become apprentices and contribute to America's industries. Pinellas recognizes that registered apprenticeships, a proven and industry-driven training model, can train our future workforce and build a pipeline into good quality jobs, addresses our pressing workforce challenges, rebuilding infrastructure, addressing critical supply chain demands, supporting a clean energy workforce, modernizing our cybersecurity response, and responding to cure economy issues. Sounds like it does a lot. Therefore, we like to proclaim by the Pinellas County Board of County Commissioners that the week of November 14th through November 20th be recognized as Apprenticeship Week in Pinellas County. And Steve, would you like to say a few words?
Yes. Thank you, everybody, and to our county commissioners, thank you for helping Pinellas County join in the nationwide celebration of National Apprenticeship Week. Along with our community partners that I have some here today, CareerSource Pinellas works hard to make the benefits of registered apprenticeships available to the Pinellas County residents. The average starting wage for apprenticeship is $15 an hour. The average starting salary once they complete their apprenticeship is about $60,000 a year. 91% of apprentices who are still employed 9 months after completion. And studies show that apprentices who complete the program earn $300,000 more in their lifetime than those who don't. So we're proud to bring them to your attention this week, and thank you again for having us today.
Thank you. Anybody else like to say a few words?
I'm Michael Long with Sail Future. We actually have a technical high school called the Sail Future Academy off of 22nd Avenue North and I-275. And the partnership with CareerSource has been pivotal to our success. We get to engage ninth graders in their education model where they're out working in the trades and learning what they're interested in and good at as soon as ninth grade, and then pursuing those interests for 4 years, giving them the opportunity to graduate high school with an apprenticeship in a trade and making a livable wage right when they receive their diploma. So thank you to the commission for your support, and thank you for having us.
Absolutely. All right. Anybody else?
If I may.
Yes, sir.
One thing, excuse me, one thing Steve did not add is that apprenticeship is one of the best values to both the employer and the apprentice there is, because while the apprentice is working, they are sponsored by an employer. All of their instruction is tuition exempt. So in the state of Florida, an apprentice can earn while they're in school, not have any tuition, leave school at that $60,000 a year or more wage with zero debt. So it is certainly the ideal instructional model for citizens of Florida and also the businesses, because they have those employees that they're building their own and growing their own, so to speak. So thank you.
Anybody else?
I'll add one thing. The other benefit to think about that's really, I think, super exciting is that apprenticeship programs are even more impactful in our underserved communities because they remove barriers to training. So I can't go to training because I have to work. I can't go to training because my employer won't work around my training schedule. And so it really does remove those barriers. And as a result, apprenticeship programs tend to be much more diverse than the field itself. So any organization invested in DE&I work and really wanting to have their organizations reflect the communities that they serve, this is a great model to attract diverse candidates and trainees.
I'm going to grab a picture. Commissioner Long, would you join me up here, please? Commissioner Seal, would you join me up here? Today is Commissioner Seal's last meeting as a county commissioner, and we wanted to find a way. We've done a few things off-site, off-meeting to recognize their service, but we did want to provide a more formal recognition today. And to begin, we're going to have Commissioner Long, our vice chair, present a proclamation.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Okay. So, sweet Karen. This is in recognition of Commissioner Karen Williams Seal. Whereas Commissioner Karen Williams Seal is a native of Pinellas County, Florida, born in Clearwater, and whereas Commissioner Seal was appointed by Governor Jeb Bush to the Pinellas County Commission in January 1999, and whereas she was reelected to the Pinellas County Commission in 2000, 2004, 2008, 2012, 2016, and 2022, and whereas Commissioner Seal has represented the County Commission through service with many boards and committees, including the US 19 Task Force, Pinellas County Council, the MPO US 19 Pedestrian Safety Task Force, Tampa Bay Area Regional Transit Authority, and Creative Pinellas, and whereas during her 23-year career as County Commissioner, she has served on numerous boards focused on diverse community issues, including community and economic development, housing, transportation, poverty reduction, and public safety. And whereas Commissioner Seal has been the recipient of numerous awards and recognition for her involvement with community projects, including most recently the Lifetime Achievement Award granted by the Association of Metropolitan Planning Organizations for the Legacy US 19 and Pinellas Trail projects. And whereas the Board of County Commissioners commend Commissioner Karen Williams Seal for her service to the constituents of Pinellas County during her 23 years of service as a Pinellas County Commissioner, now therefore be it proclaimed by the Pinellas County Board of County Commissioners that we offer our gratitude and thanks to Commissioner Karen Williams Seal for her dedicated service to the Pinellas County Commission and our community. In witness whereof, we have all set our hands and caused the seal of Pinellas County, Florida, to be affixed this 15th day of November, 2022. And I didn't shed a tear. I'm so proud of myself. So Karen, would you like to say anything? I can't believe I'm asking you that one.
Yeah, let's do that at the end.
Oh, okay.
We won't make you go do this. We have a few things to do. I was asked to. I'm sorry. We're flying a little without a script. I was asked to share this award with Karen today. Following a nomination by the Ford Pinellas staff, Commissioner Seal received the prestigious Outstanding Elected Official Leadership Award presented by the Association of Metropolitan Planning Organizations, the AMPO. The AMPO is a nonprofit national membership organization which serves the needs and interests of MPOs across the country. Executive Director Bill Kirus says her accomplishments and years of dedication to the residents of Pinellas and the MPO community made her more than deserving of this Outstanding Elected Official Leadership Award. Commissioner Seal was selected for this award from a nationwide pool of candidates for her nearly 3 decades of service, two decades of having been on the MPO. So, congratulations. And then a couple of weeks ago, the commission, is our personal tribute to the commissioner. We dedicated what we're calling a steel magnolia tree, a magnolia tree at Heritage Village as our way of remembering. She said, please, I don't want another plaque. I don't want another thing to hang on my wall. So we figured something, except for this one, of course. We wanted something that people would be able to see and recognize the service. But that day, the company that we used to make the bronze plaques for these kind of trees and celebrations Well, they're headquartered in Fort Myers. And they had a little bit of an issue about a month ago meeting deadlines. So we had a temporary plaque that day, but I wanted you to see what it actually looks like. And then I don't know how many of these you have in your drawers around the office or back home that you've maybe, just fallen. But we're not letting you leave today without a thank you for your complete service to the county, without an official key to Pinellas County. And now I'd like to invite the rest of the commissioners to come down. Commissioner Eggers, Flowers, Peters, if you come down for a photo. We'll do one without the props and one with everything.
Yeah, okay, sounds good. All right, 1, 2, and give me 1 second. That looks good, okay. Let's do one more just like that. Here we go. 1, 2, and 3, and 1 with that.
Jan, why don't you go first?
Okay, hold on just a minute. New instructions, Charlie.
Okay. All right. One last one. 1, 3, 2. Perfect.
We're not done yet. We can return to our chairs. I have to remember to get that back to the Parks Department so they
Get it up.
all right, our communication staff has put together a little video. If you'd run that now.
Oh, with a tissue.
Back in 1976, Pinellas County purchased the Crossbar Ranch and the neighboring Albar Ranch as a source of groundwater for our citizens. We all share in promoting environments that support the healthy development of all children. It's very important to have citizens' input because it's their county. And these are the criteria that are important to the citizens of Pinellas County. And so that is where Planning to Stay came from. US 19 is a different roadway as you travel from St. Pete all the way up to Tarpon Springs. And so what we were able to do yesterday was to analyze the St. Petersburg aspect, which is more of a local road rather than a highway, in order to make it not only safer for the motoring public, but also safer for bicyclists and for pedestrians. This is the bridge linking the barrier islands to the mainland, and it's a bridge to somewhere because it's the somewhere to safety. It is an evacuation route. Many of you all have been serving Pinellas County for many, many years, and we are just eternally grateful to you. We could not be providing the services to our citizens without you.
Please direct your attention to the field now for tonight's ceremonial first pitches, and welcome Pinellas County Commissioners as they throw out our first pitches.
Karen, repeat after me. I do solemnly swear
I do solemnly swear
that I will support, protect, and defend
that I will support, protect, and defend
the Constitution and government of the United States
the Constitution and government of the United States. I purposely asked my husband to swear me in tonight. It's been said already many times, but our family is the rock we depend upon on a daily basis to sometimes get us through some of these hard times. I have to thank the citizens of Pinellas County for the humble honor to vote in their behalf and to make decisions in their behalf and to just serve.
We wanted to figure a way to appropriately honor you in a way that not only would be something just hanging on your wall, but something that folks would see for years to come. You actually said this a few weeks ago in one of our meetings, and I thought it was such a great description. But there's an old book and an old movie written by Robert Harling, and they asked him, why did you call the characters in your book Steel Magnolias? It's the perfect description for the women that it profiles. They're both delicate like a flower, but also hard as steel. And I think that's incredibly appropriate for the way you've served the people of Pinellas County. And we're going to come back here and unveil the true gift, which is we've planted a magnolia tree in your honor for the folks at Heritage Village to see for years and years to come.
Perfect, perfect.
I want to give you a minute, and then, unless you want to.
I just want to say a few words. I had, at the very end of the meeting, I want to talk about each one of you, so Commissioner and County Attorney and County Administrator. But because my husband's here today, and dear girlfriends, Claudia, Debbie, Bobby, and Jan. Jan also does double duty as my assistant for the last 2 years, but I don't think you want to stay here for the rest of the meeting, so I just want to say thank you for being here. Ron, from the bottom of my heart, thanks. You have some adventures ahead. And thank you. I always wanted the blooper movie as one of my, it first started when Steve Seibert left, and they did kind of a profile and video. So Barbara, thank you and your staff for putting that together, because it means a lot to me. You all mean a lot to me. Thank you.
I wanted to give commissioners a chance to comment. Commissioner Eggers?
Yeah. Karen, just first of all, congratulations on an amazing career of giving so much of your time and your energy, good times and bad times, you said, to the residents of this county and to the city of Clearwater as well. I remember when I was getting started in the commission, I was talking to different people about, what have I gotten myself into? But I talked to Sally Parks, and she constantly referred back to you as a guiding light, or a post to kind of refer to and to think back on, and to all the things that you accomplished. And you can't go too wrong, she'd always say. So anyway, thank you, Sally, for those words of wisdom. And we talked about all of the things that you've accomplished. It's just amazing. The two things that stick out to me that talk about both sides of that infrastructure of US 19 and how important that was to our county, but also the nurse in every school. And I thought that was a really warm, about the steel magnolia, the warm side of you that came out about how important that was to all of the kids that don't have access sometimes to that. So best wishes in your retirement and the next phase of your life. I know you have a wonderful time with your family, friends, and amazing friends. So, Ron, she's all yours.
For better or worse.
Thank you. Thank you, Karen.
Thank you, Commissioner Eggers. Commissioner Peters?
Oh, thank you. We haven't worked together that often and that much over the years that we've been in this kind of business, but I don't think there has ever been a time in the history of your service that it wasn't clear how much you love this county. So thank you for your dedicated service and always, always, always caring for the people in this county. Thanks.
Thank you. Commissioner Flowers?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I met Karen years ago, as you all saw that photo up there, when I served on City Council in St. Petersburg, and we were working with Congressman Bill Young at the time to get some funding for Albert Whitted Airport. But I also think what Commissioner Seal and I share is when it comes to health equity. I'm not sure if you remember, but you and I met at Bella Bravo's on Central Avenue outside, and we were talking about a lot of the initiatives that you were trying to put forth. You served on the JWB board, and you were trying to put forth some initiatives that looked at health equity. And so it amazes me now that we still have groups that are talking about some of the very same initiatives and things that you were trying to put into place, because you recognized what it meant for children to be healthy in their environments and families to be healthy in their environments. And then you came to my city council meeting because you wanted to talk about US 19, the number of pedestrian fatalities, and what we could do as municipal governments along that corridor to try to improve safety. And then you came back again because you wanted to talk about us coming together with our 911 system. So whenever you came, you didn't just talk about the problem, you talked about the plan you had to solve the problem. And I have seen that time and time again up here since I've been on the dais with you. always looking at the financial impact, the time, yeah, the time, and I'm going to miss the historical perspective you've been able to bring, because it's good to know where you were before in this dialogue to try to help taper off some of the missteps going forward. And that's what you have done for me since I've been here. You've given that sage advice up here, and you can recall it like it's yesterday, so that shows me that your heart and your soul has always been in it. I know that you and your husband will be finding new adventures, but I hope some of your adventures will find your way back, even if it's volunteering or just to grab a bite to eat, which I know we have that scheduled. But it's always good to give people their flowers while they can see them and while they can smell them. And so you have been given some of that on today. And I know that there will be many more days that you'll have a chance to smell sweet flowers. Thank you so much for your service.
Thank you, Commissioner. Commissioner Long.
So guess what?
Be irreverent today?
I'm not going to be irreverent today, Karen. There are no words really to share with you what you have meant to this board in terms of your grace and your kindness to every one of us. You'll be very missed, number one. And number two, I don't know how well all of these people know you, but it has been astounding to me at the volumes of paper that you had stored in that little itty-bitty office and knew where every single piece was and could retrieve it at a moment's notice to help us with some particular problem or issue that we were stuck on.
We had no idea the fire hazard we were living with.
No kidding. No kidding. And so I know you've taken a lot of teasing about that over the length of time we've been together, but it has been every moment invaluable to every one of us. And I just wish you and Ron and your family nothing but the greatest hopes and joys and terrific adventures and lots of laughter and love. You're welcome.
Thank you.
I know.
Thank you, Commissioner. Well, I wrote down some things and I threw them all out. I'm glad they videotaped the Heritage Village because at least you'll have something that was coherent that I said for you. But when I think of you, one of the first things that pops in is a memory from 20 years ago. You may not ever remember this, but I was running for re-election my first time, and the newspaper actually flipped the numbers. And so everyone had thought I had lost the election. They had just reversed the numbers. And I was really mad that day until I realized that the other guy really had it worse because everyone was congratulating him. And but I saw you in an event that night, and one, I don't know if you were just shocked that I actually showed up after I lost this election, but you were so concerned and worried about it, and not because it was Democrat or Republican, but we had become friends. I was in a different elected body then, but and you were concerned about me as a person and a friend. And 20 years of friendship, and then when I came on the commission, you've been an incredible mentor, learning the process, sounding board for things, and so I just can't say thank you enough on behalf of the people of Pinellas. And then we had not seen that video before today, Barbara. Wonderful job, you and your team. But I was watching that, and I was seeing Calvin Harris and John Maroney and Chuck Rainey and Bill Young and all those names. And you are now, Karen Seal, now part of the story of Pinellas just as much or more than any of those folks that I just mentioned. And you have lived a life of public service. And on behalf for all of that, we are eternally grateful, and we wish you all good days ahead. Thank you very much.
Amen.
And I'll give you the floor one more time if you'd like it.
Homegrown girl. Love to serve. I'm so fortunate. I'm so fortunate. My arms wrap around all of you just to say to each and every one, sincerely, thank you. You know, you really, when you look over Pinellas County and the paradise that we live in and the people that are able to serve with and make a difference, I've said this to many people, it's each and every person. And whether they be a teacher or whether they, I mean, just because you're an elected official doesn't mean you have the magic wand. It's everybody in this county who does their piece. The trash collector, the, public utilities, the parks, the, like I said, teachers and nurses, and it's each and every person who adds that value that really makes us who we are. And that's what's so special about Pinellas County. So, again, I'm going to say a little bit more about the rest of the commissioners at the end. But again, thank you, my husband, thank you, my friends. You guys have listened to many a time when it's been like, oh my goodness. And so now we can all celebrate and say it's over with. Thank you all.
All right, we're going to take a 15-minute recess. We'll come back in 15 minutes.
Very appropriate.
All right, we'll come back to order. Next agenda item is citizens to be heard. Our first is a citizen using Zoom, Matthew Yasova Zaphos. If you'd unmute, we'll have 3 minutes to address the board.
Hi, my name is Matthew Yasova Zaphos.
Matthew?
Yes, can you hear me?
No.
Just barely. We need more volume.
Is this any better?
There you go.
All right, my name is Matthew Yasova Zaphos. I live here in unincorporated Seminole, Pinellas County. It's my pleasure to be here today to represent 200 of my neighbors in the local community and our local assisted living. We've identified a safety risk to our families and are here asking the board to motion to complete the sidewalk on 82nd Avenue here in Seminole. It's west of Starkey Road. Currently, approximately 2/3 of the street has a sidewalk that's parallel. However, there's roughly 1/3 of the street that does not, which leaves many children, families, individuals, and elderly residents, many who have physical limitations to walk on the street. Like I mentioned, there's an assisted living home where many of the residents' only mode of transportation is walking or using their motorized scooter. There are 3 local public schools that children are zoned for, just off of Starkey. Additionally, with the construction of 3 new communities in addition to the existing communities, there's a steady influx of individuals engaging in leisure and recreation pretty readily as well. It's also, 82nd is also used as a cut-through street from Park to Starkey, and as such, many people go pretty fast through the neighborhood. We are desperately pleading that the county demonstrate that the pedestrian safety here in our neighborhood is a priority before it. In addition, the resounding support of our neighbors, the activities director at the assisted living facility has indicated that her elderly residents have fallen or needed assistance and have been retrieved from the grassy section. So they've also provided a letter of support. And I would like to personally submit this petition on behalf of myself and neighbors that they have supported, and just respectfully request a location or email that I could drop off to show the support of, I think it's now at 227 of your constituents in the neighboring establishments, and that this vital project is completed, just the remaining sidewalk for residents within the community. Thank you.
Thank you, Matthew. We appreciate your time. Mr. Burton, did you want to make a comment on sidewalks?
Just quickly, as you know, commissioners, we have approximately 6 miles of gaps in sidewalks where part of the sidewalk is completed and it needs to be, the gap needs to be filled in. It's not as easy as that, as just filling it in. Many times you have utilities that have to be relocated, so it becomes a major construction project. You also have drainage issues that have to be addressed as part of that. Kelly has looked at that. Oh, Kelly's on her way up, so I may have outdated information, but
I just, Kelly Hammerlevy, Public Works Director, I just wanted to, the actual number, the total number of sidewalk gaps that we have requests for are 76 miles. That was the Safe Routes to School.
Oh, that was the safe.
That
okay.
Barry was alluding to, but, so it is a significant volume of sidewalks.
But what about the gaps where you have gap sidewalks?
Yeah, this is a gap, is what the gentleman is referring to. Unfortunately, it's rated a number 120 out of 189 projects, so it's
So the point being is we have a rating system where we look at all the gaps. We have a lot of gaps in the sidewalk, and we need to get to them. It's part of what we were addressing this past year when we requested additional funding for the Transportation Trust Fund, and it becomes a funding issue. So many of these items we're aware of. We have them on a list, but it's a funding issue to complete them.
And we are working on some, as Barry said, a lot of these projects get very complicated because there's a lot of conflicts with, sewer and roads and water lines and drainage systems, fiber, things like that make it, we can't just put down a sidewalk. It doesn't make it that, it's not as easy. And so all of that is factored in, and we're working on, Barry had asked for, what is a ballpark cost to get those 76 miles done, and we're working on that, getting that number to him, but it's going to be a very, very high number. It's a lot, we have a lot of requests, and they continue to come in. People want sidewalks.
Thank you very much. Commissioner Long, do you have a comment?
I do. Well, I have a question, actually.
given that you had such an expertise moving this whole thing forward, Kelly, that many projects on the list, what's the time frame you think that we might look at for being somewhat completed?
We don't have a timeline
Yeah,
on
we-
that. The
yeah.
staff analysis, just like with the road plan that we presented to you last year, I'd asked we look at the gap sidewalk issue. That has not come back to me. We haven't discussed it. We simply looked at where the gaps are and what a cost would be. Once we be able to do that, it'll become a next year funding issue that will be considered, and we'll present that and options to you at that time. Thank
All
you,
right.
Kelly.
Sure.
Thank you very much. Next citizen to be heard, Pastor Mac Johnson. Please come forward. You'll have 3 minutes to address the board.
I'd like to say good evening to the board, and thank the good Lord for you guys. Again, I like to come and just have a few words of praise and just to kind of encourage us a little more to stay on the right point. And I was thinking about something to talk about, and I was reminded of how quick life is. I mean, it's like, wow, we're here and we're gone. And you know, I hadn't had this experience until a few weeks ago. I was in the hospital about 3 straight times. I was in there one time for 3 days, and another time for 5 days, and then another time for 3 days, and I could not breathe. And the Bible says life is but a breath. I mean, I would read that before in the Word, but you know, it didn't really mean a whole lot because, you know, I'm kind of young and not, you know, but to have that experience, I mean, you wouldn't believe it. But I was able to look on the other side a little bit and see that things are going to be different. I know when I was a young guy, nobody trained me up to really know who God was. And I fought my mother for that, but I went back to her and she did the best she could with what she had. And a lot of our parents have done that, but the thing is, I never knew the Lord. Now, what has happened is, I came to know the Lord, but it was the result of me almost destroying everything that I am. And then all of a sudden, somebody showed me what my problem was, and I came to know the Lord. And of course, a lot of life have come to me and been mine since that time. But what I've learned is this is not what all life is about. And I was reading a verse of scripture in the book of Revelation, chapter 21, it says, "And I saw the new heaven and the new earth." And now, if you had told me this before I met the Lord years ago, I would have thought you kind of not too smart. But now that I have experienced life and I see that no matter what I get and gain, nothing gives me what I'm looking for. But when I met Christ, there was something different about that. It was a peace, a joy, a fulfillment. And you know, when I was in the hospital, the Lord was saying, you know what? You need to get better at telling people what time it is. I mean, people are getting all into the earth and everything that's happening here. That's okay. We're here to be a light and a blessing, but this is not it right here. It's coming, a new heaven and a new earth, which means no sin, and we're going to be able to do God's perfect will for our lives as a lifestyle. That's exciting stuff. God bless you, and we'll see you again.
Amen. Thank you, Pastor Johnson. Amen. David Ballard Geddes Jr.
Good afternoon, Commissioners. David Ballard Geddes Jr. I live at Georgia Avenue in Palm Harbor. Underpinning our county ad valorem property tax lien is a non-ad valorem water district levy. Now here's the twist. Pinellas County's been sold to the water district. And as I have displayed in this diagram, the sale is recognized in both resolution and in statute law, making the county ad valorem not a property tax lien, but a non-ad valorem water district levy. Over the next few years, the functions that support the county ad valorem lien will be placed under water district control. The county ad valorem lien will soon be dissolved, and the lien will be converted into a non-ad valorem water district levy, dissolving the county and giving rise to the water district as the new seat of government, as an unelected body of government, assuming itself as a power of the earth, using the water supply to reduce the civilian population to absolute despotism, as written in the Declaration of Independence. As based on the Due Process Clause of the 14th Amendment, this government rebelliously has and is using water as its Second Amendment right, using our current Constitution as its medium. Hypocritically, this government is a bill of attainder, is a letter of marque, is being used as a form of reprisal. In hindsight, this government, all of it, is soon to be seen as an actual invasion, making neither the county ad valorem nor the water district non-ad valorem a valid form of government. Wanting its cake and eating it too, the county is driving the property tax lien into a water district levy. And is the levy going to go dry? Taxation without duly elected representation is an act of lawlessness in this country. And on December 14th, next month, we will be in circuit court before Judge Keith Myers' chambers at 4 p.m. on December 14th to talk about this non-ad valorem levy issue, super underpositioned in on our county ad valorem property tax lien. Thank you.
Thanks, David. Greg Pound?
Greg Pound, Largo. I'd like to speak on the why they have the framers put in the separation of power clause. And if you were to look at Romans chapter 7, verse 15 to verse 19, Paul explains the base nature of people when they get in power. And this is why we had the separation power clause. The framers understood this nature, this problem that we have with self, this narcissistic problem we have. In the last verse, in verse 19, it says, "For the good that I would do, I do not, but the evil that I would not, that I do." So he shows that an accepted person is born again. That's the only way you're going to break that problem we have with ourselves. So Karen Seals was at Bill Young's party, his Republican party, when I was running for sheriff, and watched the thugs of Jim Coates' so-called deputies, or I don't know what they were. They weren't in uniform, but when they drugged me out of there and got me around the corner and beat me up and smashed my head against the wall, and then sent me to PIMS, and then they put that in the newspaper, candidate running for sheriff, goes to Bill Young's party. Me and Bill Young were personal friends, and Bill Young would tell you he had nothing to do with what happened at that party, that Republican party. It's a part of the corruption you got running in this county. Okay, and Karen, you're bringing a curse on your family. Don't you understand? When you do evil, it's going to follow you. You're putting it on your family. Job said, you would be better off to be a poor man than to be a liar, because you're bringing a curse on yourself and your family, and it's going to follow it. It's going to ride right on them. And if you want that on your children, your grandchildren, that's going to be wonderful for all of us. That's what you're doing, all of you. When you sell the truth out, the truth is not to be sold. When you sell it out for political power and whatever it is, being here 22 years, come on. And we have to take the county commissioners to court? Before our chief judge? Judge McGrady? Come on, and all this stuff. And then you get up here and you pat one another on the back and all this other stuff. Our county is like we've got this major problem with corruption. And that's why Paul said, that's why even the framers said, if you're not a Christian, you shouldn't even be put in political office. You can read it. You can go back and read it. They said only Christians should be in positions of authority because they broke that sin nature. And that's what has to happen. That lust for power, that lust for self. You say you're loving other people when behind the scene you're stabbing them in the back and using them. The fraud and corruption that's gone on in money laundering. When one of your county surveyors loses his job because he said Karen Seal did a job and he had to bypass all the permits and everything because he was one of her largest donors in the county. And I videotaped him and put it on YouTube so everyone can watch it. He loses his job. Not only is he harassed by the sheriff's department for the next year. And so this is the kind of stuff we got.
Time is up. Next on the agenda is a consent agenda. Other items to be pulled.
Move approval.
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Egger, second by Commissioner Long. We'll do a voice vote on the consent. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? So it passes unanimously. Here we go. Moving on to the regular agenda, item number 19. Good afternoon, Mr. Administrator.
Good afternoon, Commissioners. Item number 19 is a Florida Jobs Growth Grant funding application. This would enable the airport to work on the connections over to the Airco property. You can see the amount being requested from the state, and then the match would be from the airport.
Questions or motion?
Move approval. Second.
Motion by Commissioner Flower, second by Commissioner Long. Clerk will open the board. Commissioners will proceed to vote.
Excuse me.
Okay, mine.
Did you join the meeting?
I did join the meeting, so I don't know.
I didn't.
Mine's not I'm a yes.
I'm a yes. I had trouble getting into the meeting.
Passes unanimously 6-0. Item number 20.
This is a ratification of a county administrator's approval of an emergency agreement with Ajax Paving. The airport had some design issues within their runway. The previous contractor agreed to pay. This, in essence, made those changes, and now you'll be approving what was, we considered an emergency because it had to be done immediately.
But we'll be reimbursed back fully.
We'll be reimbursed, yes. Mm-hmm.
Move approval.
For our total cost?
Correct.
Okay.
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Long, second by Commissioner Eggers. Further discussion. Clerk will open the board. Commissioners will proceed to vote.
And I'm yes.
6-0. Lou, is Lou in the audience? Lou, do you want to help with the Granicus?
I'll just turn it off and try to turn it back on.
That's what I ended up doing.
Remember you told me that last time.
I think throwing against the wall sometimes helps. Item 21.
This is our local arts funding agreement with Creative Pinellas for $978,000.
Move approval.
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Seal, second by Commissioner Long. Further discussion. Clerk will open the board. Commissioners will proceed to vote.
I'm a yes.
Passes unanimously. Item 22.
This is a resolution expressing support. As you know, we have to submit to the state, but it's expressing support for an economic development ad valorem tax exempt project. Company will invest $46 million, capital investment of 9.3, 496 new jobs, average salary of almost $55,000 per year.
Mr. Chair.
Commissioner Flowers with a question.
I'm just going to see if I can.
I had a conversation with the county administrator. I know that we've had some of these come before us, and I believe this particular one is for a 7-year period of time, so that would provide them with $178,000 and change for up to 7 years. But I just want to make sure that we, hi, how you doing? I just want to make sure that, as we always do, that we're staying on top of this, because unfortunately, sometimes, not all the time, we have companies that come in, they take advantage of the exemption. They tell us they're going to hire X number of people. In this case, it's 496 new jobs. That's sizable. The starting salary, $56,000. That's wonderful. But I just want to make sure that they're sticking to that. Because it's our, we're giving them gravy and then they come back later. So I just want to make sure that we're doing our due diligence and reviewing the project as it goes. And I know this is all contingent upon them actually getting it and starting it.
Correct. So Suzanne Crispin, I'm the Director of the Business Development Team in the Economic Development Office. Great comment. Once a company moves into this program or goes into this program through the approval processes that we have in place, there is compliance. Every year they have to submit an annual report. They have to submit their payroll records. And we do all that compliance in-house. Myself and my staff do that. So, and that annual report is actually dictated to us that it has to be done in the Florida statute that creates this program. So it's all spelled out to us, step by step, how we have to do that compliance piece.
Again, just bringing, because I know when I first came on, nothing to do with the job that you all do. You do a wonderful job with a lot of different moving parts and pieces, but I just recall when we were over in the Magnolia Room when we had one of these and someone was trying to decrease, an organization at the time was trying to decrease a number of jobs, and the dollar amount that they were receiving based on the initial presentation was substantial. And so I just always want to make sure that we're getting in turn what we have stated in exchange for the exemption that they receive. So
Yeah, absolutely. We confirm all the numbers, of course. And one of the things to remember, like right now, the numbers that we provided, that is a projection from the company. And then after the project is completed, we'll actually have the real numbers. So it's a little bit easier to give a better dollar amount then.
Okay, thank you. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Commissioner. Further questions? Commissioner Seal.
Yes. So is Pinellas Park participating?
Yes, they are. In fact, the city council passed their resolution on October 27th.
So will they be giving 75% of their?
They have not defined their project yet, like the projections yet on that. So
they will be giving some tax abatement?
Yep, they are doing tax abatement, but they're still working through the procedures of their program. So we're a little bit further ahead where we have the scoring matrix and we can provide that information.
And thank you, you answered the questions very well that Commissioner Flowers asked because I had some similar concerns. So I know you'll be tracking it and making sure that we don't pay till they earn.
I'm on it, believe me.
Commissioner Eggers.
Yeah, real quick, is there anything there now? Have they identified the property already?
They have identified a building that they're looking at.
So the tangible property is all inside the building?
Right,
So there are
equipment.
tax values on the property now? And this has nothing to do with that?
Correct.
We're just
yes.
talking about,
So it's a large equipment, capital investment, because it's medical device
Right.
equipment.
okay, so there is some base tax coming in during that 7-year period?
Yes, correct.
Okay, all right, thank you.
Absolutely.
Further questions or a motion?
Move approval.
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Flowers, second by Commissioner Long. Clerk will open the board. Commissioners will proceed to vote.
Still having computer problems, yes.
It took me 4 times earlier to get in.
Passes unanimously. Item 23.
This is a local funding verification for contributions for the 2022 housing credit financing applications for the Grand Oaks Apartment Affordable Housing Development. This is phase 2 of 4 phases in the complex of Rainbow Village.
Yay.
And
Move approval.
These are home funds.
Motion by Commissioner Seal, second by Commissioner Flowers. Further discussion? Clerk will open the board. Commissioners will proceed to vote.
Yes.
Passes unanimously. Item 24.
This is realignment of various funds. So we have some general fund reserves to address some unanticipated expenses and administrative services having to do with maintenance, cleaning cost, higher than expected cleaning costs, some leases, and some general operations. We also have building, we want to move funds from the building reserves to cover higher than expected outsourcing of building permit inspections that we did as a result of higher than anticipated requests for building permits. And then I would ask for a change down under the one item. It says $250,000 from the water revenue reserves to maintenance costs in North and South County for emergency water line repairs. That actually should be $750,000. So that would be the change with that. And this just modifies these to close these out before the end of the year.
Questions, Commissioner Eggers?
So when we passed a budget in September, were these already reflected in that budget and the numbers at the end of the year?
Chris, come on up.
This is from the
Good afternoon, Commissioners.
Hello.
Chris
Good
Rose,
afternoon.
Office of Management and Budget. The majority of them are, I will say, we're watching the Administrative Services Department to see how claims are going and how construction inflation is in fact affecting us right now.
So the bulk of this has been, was already
The
a
bulk
part
of
of?
it has,
Okay.
yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And I look forward to the time we get to discuss the reserve policies that we brought up back in September. So
Yes, sir.
hopefully after the first of the year, it'll be on one of our workshops.
Yes.
Thank you.
We have discussed it.
Thank you.
Commissioner Seal.
So this one, no questions, but a comment on this one as well as the next one. That's why we're lucky. We got 2.1 million coming from general fund reserves. That's why we're lucky to have the general fund reserves.
Further questions or motion?
Move approval. Second.
Motion by Commissioner Long, second by Commissioner Flowers. Clerk will open the board. Commissioners will proceed to vote.
As amended.
I'm a yes.
As amended. It passes unanimously. And Commissioner Eggers, if you have other items to be discussed, I think the first of the year is a great time to add those onto our.
Somebody else will be there, right?
Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Item 25.
Item 25 is budget amendments to realign appropriation with reserve funds for Hurricane Ian expenses. As you can see, they're outlined in your report. All these are reimbursable, but this realigns our funds to account for those costs.
Who
Commissioner Seal.
is reimbursing us for this?
Well, come on up, Chris, back up. But, you know, so all of our, in various items, you know, we'll get reimbursement over, but who knows how long that'll take for
Right.
all of our costs associated with response. And those are all FEMA reimbursements.
Yes, sir.
They are FEMA?
Yes. And the first 30 days of Ian is 100% reimbursable, not the normal 7/8 and another. So 100% for the first 30 days on Hurricane Ian.
Okay, thank you.
Further questions?
Yeah, just one, I'm
Commissioner
sorry,
Eggers.
one other question.
Chris?
So most of these expenses were in the first 30 days?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes. Potentially all of them. I can't speak to it, but the vast majority
All
of
right,
them.
thank you.
Further discussion or is there a motion?
Move approval.
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Flowers, second by Commissioner Long. Clerk will open the board. Commissioners will proceed to vote.
Yay.
You working?
Thank you, Lou.
Thank you, Lou. It passes unanimously.
Should get to use
Item
this
26.
at the last meeting.
Item number 26 is an interlocal agreement with Pinellas Suncoast Transit Authority for the Clearwater Transit Center funding. As you know, we brought this up at a work session and discussed the request for some funds that would help them cover the cost of their transit center. And we've worked out an agreement, and it's here before you for your consideration.
Commissioner Peters.
Yeah, was this originally, I know you're taking out of the, I'm sorry, you're taking it out
Penny.
of the penny money, but was that originally on the penny program?
No.
So this is added to, this is new and added, and how far, are we still behind on that penny program?
We're balanced, but this will likely, I'll probably at the end have to.
So I'm just curious what project would get kicked out because of this?
It's hard to project that out because it's at the end of the 10-year period, but obviously we've met all the commitments of the penny, okay? So the ones that were on the original list, but we have additional requests.
Right.
And so those are additional road projects or they're additional, you know, whatever, drainage projects and things like that.
Sidewalk projects.
Sidewalk projects. You know, there's several things and community projects that are outside that we try to work into the penny if funds are available. So this, if we commit to this, then at the end, I'll have to balance that.
Further questions? Commissioner Flowers.
But some of those projects we were able to handle through with ARPA dollars, were we not?
We were able to handle some through
Some of
ARPA
them.
dollars. That helped us get to balanced.
Okay.
Okay, it did not get us ahead.
Okay. And the only other thing I want to say is I know that there was a lot of back and forth as it relates to how we got to this dollar amount. There were a lot of conversations at our workshop about the amount and whether or not we were comfortable with the ask, which was 10 million, but we whittled it down to 8 with all of the caveats in place. Do you mind sharing those as it relates to us having someone serving on their
Sure, and I'll ask Kevin to come up and kind of explain. He led the discussion.
And I'm really doing this for the public to hear so that they can know we're not just.
And Brad Miller's here also.
Yeah.
Okay, and so he can certainly answer any questions
And so is
regarding
Ms.
the
CFO.
project. But I'll let Kevin kind of outline the way in which we would engage on an ongoing basis on the project if you consider this as a funding request.
And this would have been all the stuff that we would have talked about at Thursday's workshop in great detail.
Right.
Kevin?
Yes, Kevin.
Well, I'm sorry. I know, but I don't want people in the public view to think we're just giving $8 million.
Well, I don't think that's the case. But
Kevin Knudsen, Assistant County Administrator. Yes, when we were negotiating with PSCA, one of the things that we asked, and they gladly did for us, was allow one of our staff members who's an expert in construction to be on the committee that will go through all the scoping and the procurement process to get the design done, to get the construction done, and part of the engineering afterwards as they're going through the project. So we'll be in it from soup to nuts and be able to report back to you on what's going on, provide guidance and advice to PSTA, and be a full partner in this.
Thank you.
further questions? Commissioner Eggers.
Yeah, so the estimated cost of $44 million is based on what? If we're going into that construction design part that we're going to play a part in, how do we come up with the $44 million?
Well, PSTA did that as part of their capital budgeting, and I would ask them to answer that more directly, but my understanding is they went through a process of scoping and hired someone to do
Preliminary
an
design.
estimate of what the construction would
Do you
be.
know when that was done?
I do not,
Okay.
no, but PSTA is here.
So maybe Brad could answer those questions.
PSTA, come forward, please.
Hey.
Can you
So
ask
I'm
your
wondering
question?
how much confidence we have in the $44 million estimate, and when it was done. When was the budgeting, when was the effort done to come up with that estimate? And how confident are we that that's going to even come close to covering the cost of this facility?
We're very confident that that number will be the final, it'll be that number or below. What we, over a year ago, when we got our first estimate from our preliminary design firm, it was $34 million. And that's what we submitted to the federal government for the RAISE grant, the US DOT RAISE grant, that we were the first time in Pinellas County history that we were successful at getting one for $20 million. We updated our cost estimate at the completion of preliminary design, which is where we're done now. We're about to start, hopefully with a representative from Pinellas County as part of our review team, into the final design process. At the end of preliminary design, which maybe is about 10%, that's where we got the revised estimate just about a month ago. So it's a fresh engineer's estimate. It's detailed, and I can provide that. I think we maybe have already provided that. That got to the $44 million. But this funding from Pinellas County, plus additional funding from PSDA, we will now have all of the funding necessary, the full $44 million set aside. And then, no matter what happens, we will adjust the project to live within that budget.
Okay, thank you.
Further questions?
Move approval, Mr.
Second.
Chair.
All right, we have a motion from Commissioner Long, second by Commissioner Flowers. Further discussion? This is not the actual, Mr. Burton, if we would, why don't we have a little bit of just describe exactly what this is as far as our commitment with this and the contingency and up to amount, and so just a little bit more meat on the bones of the
I want to
conversation.
call Kevin back up to go through the contingency
I think
accounts
to
and
Commissioner Flowers' point-
how much is actual contingency? We're supposed to be the last dollar in.
Right, to
was
Commissioner
the
Flowers'
idea.
point, it's not a $8 million check
If-
today.
If it's up to the amount that you would be committing to, and if the project comes in lower, that's the reason we have for somebody on the design to where we make sure it's designed in the most efficient way possible. But kind of give us the scoping of what the reserve amounts are and how our funding fits in.
Thank
Kevin Knudsen, Assistant County Administrator. One of the things that they've built into this are several contingencies, though if there's cost overruns and they have enough money in the budget to pay for it. And so the way we've structured our money is it'll be the last money in once they've expended all the grant funds and CIP funds currently in PSTA. And so that's why it's an up to amount, because we're not sure how much the project will actually cost at the end of the day. And what we believe is that they have adequate contingency there, that it should come in a little bit less. And so, for instance, if it didn't come to 44 million, if it came to 40 million, we would only provide 4 million instead of 8. So that's the way it's structured, so that we won't even put this in the budget probably until fiscal year '25, when the project
And
is
how
near
much of a
completion.
contingency do you have built into the budget right now?
I don't know if I can answer that question based on the fact that that was done by PSTA, but when we reviewed it, there was quite a bit.
Brad? I think that goes to the point of the commissioner's question.
Yeah. I think the number that's contained now at the preliminary design level is a 30% contingency overall.
Okay.
Yeah.
And Brad, maybe, well, I've got you here. So maybe just give a brief overview of what this is going to be,
Okay.
and what it's taking the place of, and why it's so important to you all to have it.
So this would be a brand new transit center, a bus depot for downtown Clearwater, replacing the 40-plus-year-old transit center that we now have, just about 2 blocks away from the county building here. That is way past its useful life. I believe I'm the 4th executive director of PSTA that has tried to get a new transit center and tried to get some federal funding. We're finally able to get some. Why this is so important? The current center is too small. It is too old. Most of the items in the facility don't work anymore. It's very dark, and the roof of it was built too low for most modern buses and all of our trolleys. We have a trolley service that's very popular. None of those can go into the facility because the roof is, they're too tall for the building, and so they have to ring around the roads. We're kind of expanded beyond that. Every morning, this is our most popular bus stop in the county. Every morning, the buses are packed going out to the beach for jobs that work out on Clearwater Beach from this transit center. It collects workers from all parts of Pinellas County come into this hub, and so they are desperate for a facility that meets what they need. Those folks need. The city of Clearwater is a partner with this. They have now agreed to the land swap so that they would take possession of our current facility at Park Street, and they would provide PSDA with the site at Court and Myrtle, right next to their future city hall. And this funding by Pinellas County would meet an obligation in that agreement as well, because that agreement requires us to build the building for us to get access to the land. And so that would be accomplished today with this vote too.
Further questions?
Yeah, just one comment. I do have concerns, the ones that Commissioner Peters brought up. No, I'm good. Thanks,
Okay.
Brad. Regarding the list of items that still could be considered for that penny that's fully balanced right now. This one happens to be coming up in front of us, that will actually take away the ability to address some of those other projects, or at least be more difficult to. So that's what concerns me at this point in terms of supporting it. Thank you.
Commissioner Seal.
One last piece of history. My dad was the ribbon cutter at that facility over 40 years ago. And I forgot to bring the picture in of the PSTA history showing that. Wow. It's overdue.
Thank you. Yeah, and I think and that was the, Commissioner Eggers, to your point, when we talked about it a couple weeks ago, the balancing of the penny. But it is a 10-year penny. That's a challenge to tell you that the projects we have on the list today will be the projects we have on the list next year, let alone 6 or 7 years from now. We have projects on this list, on the penny list, that we won't need to pay for with the penny because we'll get grants to pay for it some other way. So it is a 10-year projected list. I part of the issue I had with this project at the beginning was I wish we had been brought in from day one if we were going to be a funding partner rather than towards the end. But it is a long overdue project that the city of Clearwater is really desperately asking us for their help with. Further comments or questions? We have a motion and a second. The clerk will open the board. Commissioners will proceed to vote. Passes 4-2. Item 27.
Item number 27 is the Pinellas County Foundation, Pinellas Community Foundation's recommendations for award of grants for the highest ranked applicants on the first round of small purchases funded by the American Rescue Plan Funding Capital Projects Fund. As you know, we established through the Community Foundation committees to address and to reach out to small nonprofits. This is the first 2 rounds. The first round is for nonprofits with annual operating budgets of $500,000 and under. And the second grouping is nonprofits with operating budgets over $500,000. This is a total of $2.25 million. The attachments are here, and the Community Foundation is here to answer any questions regarding.
Are we going to have a presentation at all, or commission? Come on up. Leave it to the commissioners if they want one.
I would like.
Yeah, I would like to see a little.
I was looking to see who was
Okay.
here.
Yeah, we like a presentation. We went
Oh,
to-
I didn't see you back there.
Come on up.
Hello.
Good afternoon.
Hi, I'm David Bender. I'm with Pinellas Community Foundation. I'm the director of grants. Doug sends his apologies. He couldn't be here today, so I'm here representing. This was a very competitive grant process, as you can see. For these small purchases, we received 80 requests, totaling $6.5 million for these small capital purchases. 30 days were given, starting on August 8th, and it ran to September 8th. Those eligible proposals were sent to committees that were constituted of a diverse set of people, both by identity and where they were in the county. We had representation from as north as Tarpon Springs down to South St. Pete. They met over 2 days, 2 separate meetings. Those meetings were accessible to the public. Nonprofits were invited to attend as well to answer any questions that committee members might have. And they generated these recommendations totaling $2.25 million for a total of 34 requests to be funded.
Are there questions? Can you walk us through some of the criteria and the ranking so that, for example, and I'm not going to call it specifics, but an organization I've never heard of in my life was on the list for funding, an organization I know very well, not on the list for funding, both for the same particular item that they were requesting funding for.
Absolutely. So the crux of this funding was the negative economic impact suffered by the pandemic. They could not move forward in the process without establishing that the pandemic had harmed them and that that harm had remained unresolved. Then we looked at their presence in the community, the need for their services, the tie between that negative economic impact and the capital purchase they were proposing. So, for example, if they saw increased service demand, and they couldn't compensate it in their budget or through because of other fiscal pressures they were facing, this purchase had to resolve that in some way. And that was really the main lens that the committee looked at.
Further questions? Commissioner Eggers.
Yeah, just along the same lines, and I see, one of them that you see a lot of is vans. And there's, somebody's getting $88,000 for vans, and then you go to the list of people that didn't get anything, and there are van requests. So, instead of giving it, I don't know what the request was for that group, but let's just say spreading that out a little bit so that all of them are getting a little bit of help with the vans, because those are critically important to all these organizations. So just, again, a little bit more.
Of course, again, it's tied to that negative economic impact and what was suffered as well.
I'm sorry, can I interrupt you?
Sure.
How did they demonstrate the negative economic impact? Because
Sure.
that is the dividing line between getting a van or not getting a van in this case.
So possible ways to demonstrate that was inflationary pressures. So smaller nonprofits may have suffered greater inflationary pressures. There was also less requests in that small pool, which is why some nonprofits that maybe don't recognize were awarded. There were less requests in that pool. In the larger one, there were 55 requests. So going back to negative economic impact, inflationary pressures, increased service demand that wasn't compensated through other means. Some pandemic relief funding did not allow capital purchases or expired. So that were some ways to display negative economic impact.
Okay. Further questions?
So, can I bring up one
Absolutely.
specific?
Yeah, Commissioner Eggers.
Metropolitan Ministries wanted a refrigerator food truck, and so did Feeding Tampa Bay. One got it and one didn't.
I would have to have the specific applications in front of me as well as the scores.
Did we receive the scores?
No, but we did discuss the criteria back at the work session in July, what they would be evaluated on. You know, it might have been service area as well. That was also a very large criteria on the rubric, where they are serving, in what communities, and if they were disproportionately impacted by the pandemic. So that was also taken into consideration. I can't speak to those applications specifically. Again, there were 80.
Sure.
So, but again, that may have been part of it.
Tarpon Springs Shepherd Center as well, looking for a refrigerated truck. Obviously, being able to move food is extremely important.
Of course.
And that is the north end of the county.
There was a Tarpon Springs recipient of funding in terms of geography. It wasn't for...
In that need?
No, not in food.
And on a separate kind of a side question, when will we remind us the deadline, the timelines for the capital?
The large. The deadline for that is December 9th. The review committee will meet in January, and those should come before the commission in February.
Okay.
There was a one in here, a request for art studio furniture. Again.
Is that, could you tell me the grantee?
Nomad Studio.
So that is specifically going into the juvenile detention center and providing services to those youth. And they needed furniture to be able to serve them. That they had apparently in their application a makeshift arrangement. And this, due to the pandemic, they were not able to make those purchases. So again, this is repairing that harm caused by the pandemic.
And maybe speak to Studio at 620 as well.
I am not as familiar with their request in particular. Oh, yes, it was. It was...
seating tables, computers, display walls.
Yes, so they needed more computers to be able to operate and to be able to make better use of their space. And again, the pandemic had harmed their revenue due to not being able to have as high capacity or not being able to open it all. And so again, that amplification of capacity repairs that harm.
And their mission is
to increase access to arts and culture for residents.
It's underprivileged residents.
Yeah.
Say that again.
It's to expand that access to underprivileged individuals in South St. Petersburg. Bob Devin Jones and Esther Ellis' husband were the founders of that organization.
And for both the artists and the audience.
And the same with Nomad. It's a spinoff from, I know Leslie Curran and others are involved with Nomad. They got a lot of support from Pinellas County Schools also for the youth in that, but I'm sorry.
No, and we did set the eligibility criteria wide, as we talked about in July, due to the huge variety of nonprofits that we have in the county doing a lot of great work.
For me at this point, food seems to rise up pretty high
Yeah.
in this area. So, I mean,
It is.
from my standpoint, that would probably have had a little bit more priority than other things, but first of all, appreciate all the work you all did, because I know this was a
absolutely.
very complicated and
We
large undertaking.
We
So,
value this partnership deeply.
yeah.
And so does the community.
And to be fair, and I'm in some of those same kind of, but to be fair, we didn't, as a commission, we didn't put those parameters on you, which maybe, in retrospect, maybe.
But these are their suggestions.
Absolutely.
Too, so it's not.
Absolutely.
It's not necessarily what we have to.
They're your suggestions, and also remember, commissioners, we're going to come back. We withheld some funds, and we're going to look at all the different applications, and then we're going to discuss with you how we should allocate those, whether it's small, big, whatever. That is a secondary piece of a discussion we will have.
What is that? What are those dollars that we're talking about?
Do you recall?
A little over $3 million.
Okay, so the amount we are spending today is 2.2.
Yes.
2.25.
2.25.
Both.
For the two lists, there's two lists
that's
there.
right. Yep.
Small and large, small
Got
and
it.
medium
Thank
large.
you. Commissioner Flowers?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I appreciate that. That's what I was going to say, that I knew we were looking at setting aside some dollars for individuals to come back and reapply, because I received a number of calls from organizations who I did not go and read through their application. And one of the things I try not to do is second guess the rater, because they've taken the time. I've served on the board and I have reviewed 80-plus applications, taking the time to rank each one and put my comments about why I chose one over the other if they were comparable. But I will say that some persons did have really good arguments, you know, but I had to tell them that I needed to at least look at the way in which the persons who volunteered to review these applications, and based on what the requirements were that who got funded and who was not, and I did encourage them to please reapply. So my question is, for those who did not receive funding recommendation this time, were they allowed to reach out to you guys to try to get an idea or a handle as it relates to why they didn't score at a certain cutoff level, and that way they could pay more attention? Because it may be that they qualified, perhaps just the way that they wrote their proposal did not answer the questions completely that were being asked that may have gotten them more points.
Absolutely. We provided any written comment that a committee member left, they were sent. So we copied and pasted from the committee comments, they were sent it. We offered time to meet. We have met with various organizations one-on-one, letting them know, here's what you could do better next time. And if they are eligible, please come back. We mean that. We also offer ample technical assistance where they can come discuss their idea with us, and we can give them suggestions on how to strengthen their proposal. If they bring us a draft, we offer that technical assistance.
I think that's great. And I guess to the extent that we can, because I was thinking originally it'd be good just to keep their applications in, but obviously if the application had some shortcomings or some suggestions from you all to improve.
They won't have to type everything again. We can certainly copy it over and they can strengthen.
Thank you.
Further questions?
Oh, Jesus.
And, and I think I mentioned this at, Commissioner Peters, is that a hand raised or a?
No, I mean, I'm looking like, I look at neighborly care and I know they asked for 3 vehicles, but is there any time when you looked when a bunch of people are asking for numerous vehicles, 2 or 3, that you would have considered only partial funding and given them 1, and that way we could have done more?
The committee did have long discussions about partial funding, the merits and disadvantages. One thing that they ran into is that there were many ties below the scoring line that would have added up to much more than what was available to award. So that was what they ran into with partial funding, where they opted to try not to because there were so many ties.
I don't know what you mean by ties.
So if 80 and above were funded, and then there were 8 that scored 80% or above, they were funded, then there could be 8 that scored 79%. That could have added up to $2 million in requests, even though there was only maybe 10,000 left to award. So there just wasn't enough room to pick which one to partially fund, if that makes.
So you have 10 at 79.
I got what he's saying.
Right,
I got what
let's
he's
make sure.
saying. I wasn't there to look at your paperwork to know, so I'm got to go with that. But, when you see one organization that gets 2 vehicles and, they got 2 and you could have given them 1 and this one, another one, and, really made a benefit farther through. And I think food's a really big deal. And I know the seniors there's long lists for help for seniors. So, and when I look at, the impacts of COVID, seniors took a pretty big hit, a really big hit. And I mean, just not, economically, but emotionally, mentally. I mean, I think they took probably the biggest hit. So anyway.
This is a quiet clientele that doesn't be able to speak too loudly because they're just situations that they're in and they find themselves. So
absolutely,
I just think this is a group that's extremely important to the extent that we can help them. I was specifically disappointed that that did not make it because the importance to that segment of the community. Talk about.
Further questions for the foundation before we have public comment? All right. Thank you. Don't go far.
Thank you.
We have one public comment. David, if you'd come up, introduce yourself. You'll have 3 minutes to address the board.
Thank you, Commissioners. My name is David Lamaka. I'm the Executive Director of Neighborly Care Network. And I'm not really here talking about Neighborly, and I'm not here on behalf of Sour Grapes. I'm here on behalf of the seniors in this county. The largest group in this county, the largest age group is senior citizens, those over 65. So we go even further than that because with our federal funding and state funding, we go to age 60 with folks. So we serve the largest contingent of this community. And I asked yourself in this process to look at those approved or suggested for funding, How many are in that group? How much funding is that? There's a lot of organizations that do some work with seniors. For example, some of the health clinics, Evara Health Clinic, for example, community, they take care of all adults, but primarily they take care of younger families, but they do take care of seniors. When you start looking at the services we provide, it was really interesting. I did this for the purpose of this meeting. This is called ARPA funds. Rescue funds was the name of the title. What rescue means is saving someone from a dangerous or distressing situation. So I asked with that list, how many are dangerous and distressing? Today I have 900 seniors, isolated, living alone, not getting a hot meal, not even getting a frozen meal, getting nothing because there's no funding for it. There's no federal funding, there's no state funding, there's no county support for it. The county does give us $200,000 a year, but that money is far used and the waiting list is huge. We have over 100 people on a waiting list with dementia for a day of daycare. Not 5 days a week, just a day. And that funding runs out from our support in October, November every year. So we don't have funding from those, but that's what we do. We talked about some of the rescue funds and what the Community Foundation has set up, these qualified census tracts. That's a requirement. I guarantee you we have multiple seniors we serve in every qualified census tract in Pinellas County. I could be wrong. Maybe there's an outlier somewhere we don't, but I would guess we do. I could also say we're the only one on that entire list that provides services to every zip code in Pinellas County, not to targeted regions in St. Pete, and nothing against any other providers on the list. But as we look at those kinds of things, it's like, did we send the right tone? Commissioner Eggers, you asked that question. There really wasn't that guidance, and maybe you were looking for that from the foundation, but what was the guidance to say, are we taking care of different populations? Are we taking the most needy? The most dangerous situation is a senior living by themselves who doesn't see a person every day, who doesn't get a healthy meal, any meal every day. That's, to me, I don't know who's more dangerous than that. Maybe somebody jumping off a bridge, but we put nets to fix that. And I'm not discounting anything else. Please don't hear me saying that. I do advocate for our seniors. And I'm not sure we have another voice that does, at least at this forum. So, what I wanted to do here was provide a little bit of education of what the process is. We were shut out of both, the big and small project. We only got in on the big project by the skin of our teeth because another organization had somebody advocating for them. We didn't have that advocate for us. So we got in that way. But again, that's what, I'm past my time. So, we were out of both. The smaller one, we didn't even get consideration. And when you think about it, vehicles to deliver meals is how we could sustain and keep it going.
Thank you, David. Appreciate your time. Commissioner Flowers.
David, first of all, thank you so much for being there. I worked for Neighborly Care Network. I wrote the grant that got you your Easy Ride program and purchased the Prius vehicles. So I'm very familiar, and I know what the Meals on Wheels programs do. You have one at the Enoch Davis Center and other facilities where seniors come, and so it gives them an outing. So during COVID, they didn't have that because those centers were closed and they were home, and you guys were looking for volunteers to deliver meals to people, and I do recall that, and I tried to get a number of volunteers. I don't know, what your score was in any of that, but I do know what the need is, and you certainly are in census tracts 1, 2, 1, 3, 05, and 1, 1 in South St. Petersburg, and going up into Pinellas Park and the Lellman community area. Are you reapplying? Are you going to reapply?
Well, we're having that conversation right now because the hoops, again, in the large projects, they want a shovel-ready, meaning projects with land already assigned and purchased or held with approved builders that you put out for bids. And those are the requirements that we have to have by Friday this week, during the next conference we have with staff. I can't imagine I would be irresponsible in my role as an executive director to have spent money on engineering, planning, purchasing land when I didn't know whether we would stand any chance to get anything. I couldn't spend $300,000 to get that done before this. And if anybody did, then they had a leg up on us. And apparently there's more than that because, again, we were at the, like I said, we would have been out if they went with 80%. They moved it to 78 to get Gulf Coast Jewish Family Services in. And when that happened, we come in because we had the same score. So by default, we were in that one. So we're still considering that because I don't know that we could, again, to pull that all together. And
well, I've served on the board for PCF, and I don't believe that they changed a percentage just to allow, because I also worked at Gulf Coast, just to allow one entity in. So I'm not going to say that because I do know the processes that they go through when they're looking for funding. But I just want to, I mean, I know what the program does. I know what it means to a lot of seniors.
Thank you.
Some who are pinching off of what they have so that they can stretch their meals. So I'm very familiar, and I'm letting you know that I'm in there with you. I don't know what capabilities we have. If there's $3 million hanging out for the next round, I don't know if anyone up here is willing to entertain an exercise to look at a couple of projects that are touching like this. This isn't something that's just far-fetched. This is something that we know happens every day to seniors. And whether or not we'd be willing to entertain a conversation to see about pulling dollars out of that $3 million that's left over and fund these projects.
Mr. Chair.
All right, hang on.
So just.
All right. Commissioner Peters.
Thank you, Mr.
Thank you.
Chair.
So the shovel-ready stuff, and I did read on here that it says they have to be by 2024, everything has to be expended by 2026. So is the shovel-ready piece because of the parameters from the federal government?
Correct.
Okay, that's what I thought. And so I'm not built anything, and so that 2024 is only a year. That's not something that can be done in a year with engineers and.
Well, I'll let David, speak to anything specific regarding the federal regulations in this, but, there's, Commissioners, and when we started this process, we knew we would receive more applications than we have money. And so it's an unfortunate part when you have to pick and choose. That's the reason I think a lot of local governments didn't set up a process like this to give out money to nonprofits, because you know exactly what that. We held back money because, frankly, we didn't know what type of projects we would even receive in the application process. So the idea that when we talk to you about this is to put these application rounds out and then have us look back. We'll do a look back at what projects we saw and then come back to you and have that discussion regarding how to use those remaining funds. But to your specifics, is that correct?
We emphasized the shovel-ready part. We didn't put shovel-ready anywhere, but we need bids and estimates to know that this could move. And due to we hear about long delays with getting bids and starting projects, and so we're torn in that we want to work with organizations, but there's this timeline hanging over us.
Yeah, but the timeline's 4 years total for expending it. 4 years is a long time for even engineers and some delays. 4 years is still a long time for having expended. So,
to speak to the large projects in their application, they will have to give a detailed timeline, and we will have folks from the construction industry, obviously not involved with any of these projects, but from the construction industry to analyze those timelines and let us know if they're realistic.
Commissioner Peters?
I'm good, thank you.
Okay. Commissioner Long?
Yes. For the sake of expediency, I would like to suggest that we are getting way in the weeds right here, right now, and that this is a subject matter that requires a lot more thoughtful deliberation and creativity. And I say that because we had an incredible presentation made to us just this week at the Regional Planning Council, and the whole subject matter was food insecurity in Pinellas County. It was fascinating. And I would like to request, Mr. Chair, that we move this subject matter to a workshop where we can talk about the whole idea of food insecurity within our county. I know we're talking about your particular piece and yours, David, but I think that would be a wise conversation for us to have as county commissioners in developing policy going forward.
I think food insecurity, food desert, food issues for the entire is an absolute necessary topic for a future workshop, absolutely.
You mentioned earlier that, we didn't give them enough direction perhaps in the beginning. And so in my mind, and again, this is just one person speaking, that those extra funds should be prioritized to food organizations that deliver food to various parts of the county. Now, there may be other organizations here that will take exception with what I just said. I'm sure they will. But there's too many on this list regarding food insecurities that we need to be able to try to do something about. Again, I'm just not talking about we didn't give them direction, and I think that's something that we ought to think about as we look at that next round of.
What is our timeline for the remaining, the leftover, whatever we're calling that fund?
Discussions begin now. We had originally said an announcement would be made early next year in spring, but we're working on that now, and we look forward to working with you all on that, and with staff as well.
Commissioner Peters.
Thank you. I just want to follow up, and I agree with Commissioner Eggers on the food insecurity, but, when I look at what happened with the whole COVID stuff, what really emerged much more than anyone ever anticipated is the amount of the degradation of mental illness and mental health with every single age group bracket, everything. And so I don't want to just say food insecurity only, okay? I really don't, because there's some projects on there, and during COVID, people we saw the tele-psych working well, but we still had a whole lot of people that didn't know how to access the system, didn't know how to get help, and the demand for those services is as needy as the 900 people you have waiting, and many of those 900 people need those services too. And so I don't want to make a public statement saying that we're going food insecurity when I know there's also some projects on there that are very important within that realm as well. And so, yeah, I think we need a conversation. But when you talk about what came out of COVID, mental health and mental illness became a huge thing that a lot of people, nobody was talking about it, and then all of a sudden it was very clear that was a huge area that really suffered, and what it's going to take to rebuild, well, not even rebuild, but to build a mental health system that can meet the demand for this community is going to be really challenging. So I just didn't want to leave with just.
In order to respond to your comment, I agree.
Commissioner Eggers.
I agree 100% with you, and I do think we need to have that meeting that you're talking about so we can give some direction.
Yeah.
So that we just don't say, go do it. So.
Before we get too far, Mr. Burton, maybe this is for you, I don't know. So have we given parameters on this supplementary fund? I don't making up names for it every time, but
No,
no. We have given no parameters.
No, the idea was that we're going to get the applications the first couple of rounds. We're going to see what type of,
Okay.
and see what the demand is.
All right.
And then we can come back to you
All right.
with recommendations regarding future funding rounds.
And that would
And
be
that's
helpful
where
that
you
we
can
could
say,
narrow.
if you want it to be in
narrow
food
the
and
scope.
security or
Narrow the
mental
scope.
health or wherever, now you have the benefit of all the applications to be able to make that choice.
No, I think that's fair.
Okay, and my last thought is the timeline. So, if we had to expend it by, what was that? Of course, I closed it, 2020.
End of 2026.
So it has to be expended by December 31st of 2026. So should we be firm and fast on that shovel ready, even though you kind of looked at that but didn't really use that language? Is that something that should be firm and hard on, given that there's a 4-year expenditure timeline?
But they can apply. They
Yes.
have, and we have construction people to look to say, is that a reasonable timeline for the project, depending upon the size of the project.
Okay.
So
So
would have- they would need a-
thing, we don't want to commit dollars to projects that we end up having to turn back to the federal
And
government.
I
'cause they didn't-
completely understand that, but and I'm going to use you as an example because you brought it up. He said I can't go through the expense of getting by Friday to get, where the land is and an engineering bid and all that kind of stuff, where you can write, and I was a grant writer for 10 years, so I get it, just like you get it, and I've reviewed many and scored many. Is it possible to write that out? I don't know. Is that, should he automatically just throw his hands up and quit? Because he doesn't, I just worry that we're losing somebody from a perception that might not be real. So I don't know if that perception is real, and I guess that's what I'm asking you. Is his perception accurately, or is that something that he should still pursue?
I turn it over to the Community Foundation, who's setting those out. Go ahead.
For the large projects, they're submitting their timeline and their application, and that will be reviewed by the committee.
Okay.
That's as much as I can give until
It
it's
should be
in.
a project that they've thought about to some degree, and at least a sketch out, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I get that.
Further questions? Commissioner Eggers?
The large projects, not the ones that are here today, have those already been evaluated? They haven't been
The
evaluated.
letters of intent were. So there was a first step to the process that we talked about in July where they would submit preliminary information. They wouldn't have to submit bids, but they would have to say, how ready are you? How close are you to being ready to execute this? What is it? Again, that negative economic impact they had to demonstrate. And we received 78 of those with a total requested of $83 million. Again, a very competitive process. And now they are completed a full proposal where they will attach bids, talk about timeline, permitting, the more nuts and bolts, how are we going to carry this out? Not just the what is it.
So some of those still could drop off that you've preliminarily picked because they don't meet, when you get into the details.
There will be a rank and review committee for those full proposals with 10 million available.
For the ones that you've pulled out.
For the ones that the rank and review committee approved. Recommended for a full proposal to be submitted.
And I'm sorry, I missed it. Did you say, so there was how many? 79?
There were 78 requests submitted with letters of intent for those large projects. 23 were moved forward.
23.
23, totaling 25 million requested.
Okay. And do we have those? Are you sharing those with the commission?
Yes, they were put into, I'm not sure that the approved letters of intent were, but the the total letters of intent were submitted. We can submit that approved list.
So I have the list of 79, I guess.
And one withdrew.
And one withdrew. But not.
Nonprofit capital project.
Are these, the first section is the moving forward and the second section not moving forward?
No, that was all the small and all the large. We can certainly share that list of the 23.
Just for my own sake, I think we don't want to be involved every step of the way, nitty gritty, but I think what you're hearing today is this commission wants to be involved, aware of the selection process throughout the process. And I'm speaking for me, I don't know if I'm speaking for everybody else, but we're not doing the large projects today. That's the next time we talk about this, and we'll have a thorough work session on that topic before we have it for the regular meeting. Are there further questions, comments, or is there a motion for this agenda item?
Mr. Chair, just a comment.
Yes, ma'am.
I just want to express again to David while he's standing here that I sincerely hope you all would, because I see where you were asking under the small projects for 2 vans to help deliver the meals. And I know that helps you better because if you don't have all the volunteers you need to get the meals out, at least you have the one driver then to get more meals out than others. So I just really hope that you will, if you have not already done so, communicate with the foundation. I've worked with them and they are helpful. And try to see, where you can beef it up or whatever, because I know that, one person driving can deliver many more meals versus trying to find 6 and 7 individual drivers that could put a couple of meals in their car to get them to the person.
Thank you very much for that. And both of our requests, large and small, we're all about sustainability and this is to replace fixed costs. I mean, the building request is to replace fixed costs and not pay rent. Say if it's $150,000 a year, that goes towards 150,000 more meals.
Yeah.
Thank you, David. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Anything else?
Move approval.
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Flowers, second by Commissioner Long. And I think.
And this is no negativity towards the foundation. It's just that.
No, this is what we do.
Yeah.
And I think
Hard
that's
choices.
when you get to this point in the process, unless we're going to go line by line and start moving things around, it gets into very, it's a good thing we don't have a 6 o'clock because we would be here for days and days and days. But it is, speaking again, frustrating when you see organizations that you've known done decades and decades of good work, not on the list, and an organization that you've never heard of. And I think us are mildly involved in the community. We've heard most of these organizations. If you see one that you've never heard of on there, it raises your eyebrow. So my last 2 cents. We have a motion and a second. Further discussion. Clerk will open the board. Commissioners will proceed to vote.
I'm having trouble again. Yes.
Passes unanimously. Thank you very much. Item 28.
Item 28 is supplemental funding for the 2022 Emergency Communications System. This is a grant that is awarded. This is for the Vesta phone system.
Move approval.
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Peters, second by Commissioner Long. Further discussion. Clerk will open the board. Commissioners will proceed to vote.
Yes.
Commissioner Seals, a yes. Passes unanimously. Thank you very much. Item 29.
This is a resolution designating Pinellas County as B City USA affiliate.
Yay.
That was Commissioner Peters' request, I think, originally, and I don't know what that means, but we're it.
Mr. Causey, why don't you come up and tell us what that means?
Where's that lady that brings us the bees and the honey, and the lady that brought us the honey for the bees and stuff? Yeah,
right.
I got my honey.
Good
It tastes
afternoon,
good.
Paul Causey, Parks and Conservation Resources Director, Mr. Chairman, Commissioners.
Gonna try
So the
again.
Bee City USA designation is similar to what the National Arbor Day Foundation does with Tree City USA. Bee City USA is sponsored by the Xerces Society for Invertebrate Conservation, and what that does is it's meant to recognize communities for the promotion and protection of pollinators, which of course pollinators are at the start of our whole food chain. And so we have certain commitments as a county to follow through with. Some of those we've already done, which includes the creation of our integrated vegetation management program, which is aimed to reduce the use of pesticides. We also look at what we can do educationally through county extension to promote butterfly gardens and those types of things. We also, of course, we have several apiaries that work on county lands to promote the honeybee industry. And of course, we're also going to be looking at how we can increase the amount and the number of wildflowers that we plant within county-managed lands, and also what we can do to encourage private residences to promote the planting of wildflowers.
Thank you, Paul. Tom, would you come up and share the important announcement of an event coming up that celebrates this? Or at least is tangentially related?
I didn't know what it was.
He couldn't wait.
What's Tom gonna
He was
say?
sitting over there smiling.
I'm
like
Armand
he's
Pass,
listening.
Assistant County Administrator. Next year, on February 18, we will have for the first time the Honey and Art Festival in Leoman. It will be a one-day event from 10 in the morning to 5 p.m. And we have, unbeknown to me, we have a large community in Pinellas County, a honeybee community. So you're going to be invited. Commissioner
date?
Justice is going to dress as a bee. No.
February 18th?
February 18th, from 10 in the morning to 5 p.m. We're going to have live music, a lot of events for families, the community. There will be a section for the kids where they can engage, and the event will end with a live band. The Black Hunkies will
Oh,
be
I
playing
love
at the
that.
event. So,
Thank you, Tom. That was February 18th, 2023 at Raymond Neary Park in Lelman, if you were.
Move approval.
Second.
Question.
Motion by Commissioner Peters, second by Commissioner Long.
Just a quick comment.
Commissioner
I have
Aguirre.
a good friend of mine who lived in this area, and he did all the, go into your homes and take care of everything that when you had the little critters coming in, and he just did a great job, and he sold his business and moved out up to mid-county or mid-state, and he started a bee farm, if you will, and I mean, he's got up to like 60 hives or something. It's just an amazing, I guess, thing that folks get involved in at all ages, and it's just an exciting thing. He was talking about, the fogging that we do having such minimal impact. We do it at the right times because all the bees go back to their, protections and all of that stuff. And so it's really kind of a cool process. And he was telling me what they really get hurt from, and but it's really a neat industry, so it's kind of fun, and glad we're doing it. So anyway,
Thank you, Commissioner.
Yeah.
We have a motion and a second. Further discussion. Clerk will open the board. Commissioners will proceed to vote.
Technology is going to do me in the last meeting.
It passes unanimously. Item 30.
Item 30 is a incentive grant program with Florida Department of Transportation. This is for advanced traffic management system, and so it's a $185,000 grant with $185,000 matching funds.
Move approval.
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Long, second by Commissioner Peters. Further discussion, the clerk will open the board. Commissioners will proceed to vote. Commissioner Seals, a yes. Passes unanimously. Item 31.
This is a grant agreement, Florida Department of Environmental Protection for Philippi Park's Living Shoreline Oyster Reef Wave Attenuation Project. $129,000 grant with a $130,000 match, total of $259,000.
Move approval.
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Flowers, second by Commissioner
fabulous.
Peters. Is Kelly Levy still here? Why don't you come up and just give us 30 seconds on what this project is? I only have a couple more meetings this year. I'm just going to start calling out.
Good for the environment.
Briefly. 30 seconds.
30 seconds. This is a living shoreline project along Philippi Park. Basically what we're having out there is we have erosion caused by wave action up against the shoreline, and the wave action is actually damaging the large seawall that protects the midden behind it. And this project is to help attenuate those waves, protect the wall, protect the midden, and prevent erosion.
Thank you very much. Great project.
Move approval.
There's a motion and a second already. Clerk will open the board. Commissioners will proceed to vote.
Yay.
Passes unanimously. Item 32.
It's a local program agreement with Florida Department of Transportation authorizing construction engineering inspection services 42nd Avenue North from 46th Street to 35th Street, roadway and sidewalk improvements.
Move approval.
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Flowers, second by Commissioner Long. Clerk will open the board. Commissioners will proceed to vote. Commissioner Seal, yes, it passes unanimously. Item 33.
Item 33 is a multimodal priority list application for Bel Air Road Multimodal Improvement Project, receiving federal and state grants administered through Forward Pinellas for construction.
Move approval.
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Long, second by Commissioner Flowers. Commissioner Seal.
Yes, Kelly or somebody, could you come up and go over some of the project itself? I did look at the plans, but I guess I'm trying to figure out, especially where the old oak trees, how it's going to go through there. It was not clear from the...
Yeah, let's have Tom come up.
Okay, Tom, thank you. It wasn't clear to me. And then the other question I had is I noticed that the multi-shared path moves north and south, then north again. And I'm worried about the conflicts of that if I read the project drawings correctly.
Yes, good afternoon, Tom Washburn, Pinellas County Public Works Transportation. This segment of Bel Air Road is from US 19 to Keene Road. We did a PER that we completed at the end of 2019 that identified some of the safety improvements that we're considering out there. It is the extension of the trail. When we completed the intersection improvement at Bel Air and Belcher, we included a segment of the trail that runs along the north side, east and west for a distance. So this will complete that segment down to the trail, the Duke Energy Trail connection closer to US 19. It'll extend it to Taylor Lake Park. We do cross at least one location, but we'll have some sort of a signalized crossing, either an RFB or a full pedestrian signal to accommodate that. Looking at the PER and the decisions, it was probably based on conflicts that we encountered, getting closer to residential properties or making the need to jump. But Taylor Lake Park is on the south side, so at some point we needed to get across from the north side to the south side. It also includes turn lane improvements, and there was quite a bit of discussion as to what to do in that area where we've got those large oak trees. And so that's something that will be continued to be developed as we get into the final design.
But are you going to protect the oak trees and work around them, or are you going?
Yeah, that's the goal. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, working closely with
because I know
our,
that the neighborhood would be up in arms.
Yeah, we'll be working closely with our urban forestry. Group, so.
Okay, but it does look like it crosses twice. It goes from the north side for the shared, and basically the sidewalk and the shared lane, shared use paths flips twice. So there looks like there's going to be two rectangular beacons, and they're fairly close. And I'm sure it's because of the oak trees. I'm just worried about the confusion and people crossing and recrossing, especially with some recent tragedies there.
We'll
So
check into that and
if you
confirm.
can check that in the design
Absolutely.
process, I'd appreciate it.
Commissioner Eggers.
Yeah, just, this is the area, you talk about the oak trees where the child was killed. What are we doing, what are some of the thoughts that are kind of being kicked around for that area?
So we did post a roadside memorial at the request of the family. We have been collecting vehicle, pedestrian crossing data, and doing an evaluation to see, one of the suggestions from the family was to consider signalized crossings. We've completed the data collection for that, so we're looking at that, but it looks like we've got the data to support a crossing closer to US 19 where the Pinellas Trail comes down. Right now the trail comes from the north and connects to the north side of Bel Air Road and then goes over to US 19. But there's a new residential development on the south side, and there is a crossing demand that we noted during our data collection.
Yeah, when you get down there and you try to look down the road, because those trees are right there, and then you've got that guardrail, and it is just really dangerous. I mean, those cars flying, and when you get back in your car and you're going, it's only like 35 miles an hour, but I mean, you can't see. You cannot see out to get across. So we don't do something in this improvement.
And if we haven't done it yet, we are adding reflective pavement markers to the road. We just resurfaced that segment of Bel Air not too long ago, so we're adding the thermoplastic pavement markings, which will make it more reflective at night. The little reflective pucks in the road, and then with the guardrail, we're adding reflective devices to that to really highlight it, at least at night when the headlights are hitting it.
Well, I don't think we can do too much there on this regard, because if you just put, even if you put signage,
It's not enough.
morning, something, just kind of something that flashes in the morning when it's dark. There's a lot of kids in that area. And people if they just realize that, I think they'd probably, bring it down a notch or two. And maybe looking at speed limits through there too.
We're also meeting, as a result of the STSC meeting with Forward Pinellas, we're meeting with Forward Pinellas and school board staff to look at bus stops in general, and then see if there's a way to highlight those locations, especially in areas where it's dark and there's no lighting.
Well, thank you for thinking inside the box and outside the box, because we can't really do enough for this, so appreciate it, Tom.
Understood.
Did we have a motion on this one?
Well,
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Further discussion? Clerk will open the board. Commissioners will proceed to vote. Passes unanimously. Item 34.
It's a resolution providing authority to use golf carts in the Westlake subdivision. It was a petition received by the homeowners association, including a majority 65% vote in favor of the golf carts usage. They go through a process to go through that approval.
Who was the first?
Commissioner
Motion by Commissioner
Peters.
Peters, second by Commissioner Long. We do have some public comment on this one.
Can somebody come up that did the work?
Sure. Staff presentation,
No, I just want to,
or at least description.
understand the petition process and, that we use versus what they may think is going on. I'm just trying to get a sense of it.
Yeah, correct. So it's outlined in our code, and basically we petition every property owner within the community in the area that they're asking for the golf cart access. And then we take those responses back, and we're looking for a majority of the community who would like to have the golf carts. It's got to meet all the safety criteria, the road designation, and everything. So this particular community met the criteria. The petitions were mailed out. It came back in favor and support.
Do you have a sense of what the percentage of people that responded?
Tom, do you remember?
64%.
I think it was in our staff report.
Oh, was it?
Come
Okay.
up and
64.6%.
64% of the people
Thank you.
responded.
Yeah.
And it was 65% of those were in favor of it.
In favor, correct. So we understand this particular resident believes that the homeowner association rules kind of govern this process, but they don't. The homeowner association has been very collaborative with staff and have had their attorney speak with him as well, in that their HOA rules only cover the community assets and the community itself, not public roads and the public right-of-way. So their HOA governance doesn't cover those issues.
And two or three other questions real quickly. Do we have a sense of how they're going to connect to the downtown? Is there a connection,
Tom can come on.
implied connection, or, you know, because you know that's going to happen, whether or not there's one there.
Commissioner, I understand it completely. I have it all over my neighborhood.
Yeah.
I have golf carts on West Bay Drive going down the causeway. It's definitely kind of challenged.
Yes, Tom Washburn again. There's no direct connection. There's about a 2-block gap from where it connects at Nebraska Avenue in Westlake. Golf carts are not allowed on Nebraska Avenue. When we developed the Palm Harbor golf cart community, we do have designated crossings. And actually, this initiative started as a CATS item because the golf cart users in the Westlake area were looking for a way to get to Palm Harbor. We think we've identified some public property within the neighborhood that will get them to a location back behind Palm Harbor High School, which would get them out to one of the designated crossings. But that's something we have to work on if this is approved.
And then another couple of questions that in Dunedin, we have, you know, the same issues, the challenges that we have there. One of the 2 rules there, one is the 16 and over driving. We have that, right?
Correct.
But you see a lot of people breaking that rule in Dunedin and in other areas, but I think that's going to be something that we just have to watch, because you have a couple of those accidents and we're going to have some real issues. And then the other is, and just continue to tell people to pull over when cars are behind you. And people just are oblivious. They're just driving down at 20 miles an hour, and it's a 30-mile-an-hour zone. So it just, you know, you pull over, and it's supposed to be the law to pull over and let cars through. I don't know if we've addressed that.
Well, I think we haven't really addressed that in the other golf cart communities, but within this neighborhood, the main road is a 4-lane divided roadway that connects the community to Alderman Road to the north and Nebraska Avenue to the south. So there is a second lane that they can, the right lane, basically, that they could ride in, and cars would be able to get around them without issue.
Okay, well, if you could maybe take a look at that one other item about the pulling over, just to take a look at it, and give some thought to that, that'd be great. Thank you.
Further questions before I get to public comment? All right, thank you, Tom. Bruce Zert? Zite? Zite, I'm sorry. If you come forward, you'll have 3 minutes to address the board.
I think your county officials pretty well addressed it for me. I'm here to represent the HOA board. I'm on the board. Mr. Eggers, I do agree with you about the 16 and over thing. Let's just say that right away. But in January of this year, it was brought to our board's attention that we had a couple residents trying to establish a golf cart community. So as a board, we said, well, let's gauge interest, and we did. And we moved forward with it. And in I'm sorry, I'm having a hard time reading my phone. In talking with our attorney, we did consult with our attorney. We had a town hall, our attorney was there. We tried to explain to the person that had the question, you know, look, it's county roads, they're not private roads. We don't control them. The county does. I think the attorney and you guys might have been able to, or they might have been able to get that settled with him. So if it's a county road, we really have no control over what happens on it. Obviously, we want people to be safe. I mean, I've got a golf cart myself. My son is almost 17 and he drives it very rarely. But we want to make sure we're safe. We have a divided main road between Nebraska and Alderman that I don't even like going out on, to be honest with you. But we've tried to make this as easy on us and explain to our residents that this was a county initiative, more or less. You know, you guys are the ones that or the county put the vote out. The county got the votes back and told us what was going on with it. So as a board, we are supportive of this and look forward to working with y'all in the future on stuff.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, appreciate it. I'm glad Tom reminded me of the 4-lane road so that we do have a chance to get people over. And that really worries me about that road because of this, you know, but anyway, that's all I had.
All right. We have a couple that are appearing via Zoom. Christine Benson, if you will unmute. You'll have 3 minutes to address the board.
Hello, can you hear me?
A little louder.
A little louder, please.
Okay, let me get my volume up.
There you go.
How's that?
That's great.
Okay, thank you very much. I am a member of the Westlake community. I live on, I call it the other side of Westlake. So I'm on the side away from the clubhouse. This initiative means a lot to me. I have 3 kids. One of them has special needs. He doesn't like going in a car. I am very isolated from community events because I just can't get to the other side of Westlake. This would give me the opportunity to participate in my community a lot more. And also my son is also a runner. That's one of the reasons I picked this neighborhood to move into, because it's safe for him. And I have on several occasions gone running down the street barefoot, running out of breath, trying to catch him. If I could, and neighbors have come out to help me. If I could jump on a golf court, I could catch him quicker and not die of an asthma attack when it happens. This would help me a lot now. It will help me a lot as he gets older, to give him potential job opportunities in downtown Palm Harbor that he might not have now. If this doesn't become a golf cart community, this isn't a place my family can be in long term. So this would really mean a lot to my family, and I would ask you guys to look for ways to say yes instead of reasons to say no. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Ms. Benson. We appreciate your comments. I have one other, Dennis Daniel. I don't see you online listed. There's another name there, but Mr. Daniel, if that's you, if you will unmute yourself. All right, I see no action. Oh, okay. If you'll unmute. Mr. Daniel?
Hi.
Is this Dennis Daniel?
No, I'm actually another one of the board members. I was just participating in case they needed more clarification on any issues.
All right, very good. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
All right, that's all I had for public comment on this item. So are there questions, discussion, or motion?
Move approval.
Second.
Did we have a motion and a second already?
I think we did. Yes.
I'm sorry. We have a motion and a second. Further discussion? Seeing none, clerk will open the board. Commissioners will proceed to vote. Passes 5-0. Item 35.
This is a settlement agreement released with NTB Corporation for design and roadway reconstruction and widening of Forest Lake Boulevard. They had several different issues that result in litigation with infill, base stabilization, curb gutters, or concrete curbs and clearing of the roadway. This action approves a settlement agreement in exchange for $350,000 associated with that project.
Move approval.
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Long, second by Commissioner Peters. Further discussion? Clerk will open the board. Commissioners will proceed to vote. Passes 5-0. Item 36.
This is the State of Florida Department of Economic Development Block Grant Mitigation Subrecipient Grant Agreement for the Joe's Creek Greenway Restoration Project. So
Second.
It may be bad. We haven't heard about it.
If I hear a yes, I'm just going to stop, so.
We have a motion from Commissioner Peters, second from Commissioner
Long.
Long. Further discussion about this outstanding project that will
Huge award amount, 17 million.
enhance the area where the Honey Festival will be held in February.
And just so you know, so you'll see in here, it's got a county match of $33 million. We fully expect to get other grants that will offset a lot of that cost.
Very good.
Good to know.
Further questions? We have a motion and a second. Clerk will open the board. Commissioners will proceed to vote. Passes 5-0. Item 37.
This is an agreement with Image Trend to purchase a record management system for safety and emergency services. So as you're well aware of the Prime, which is the consolidated CAD system, also consolidates records management systems. And so Prime covers the first year, second, third year comes out of EMS funds. But this system's is 2.9, or basically $3 million.
Move approval.
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Long, second by Commissioner Flowers. Further discussion? Clerk will open the board. Commissioners will proceed to vote. Passes 5-0. Item 38.
It's an interlocal agreement with City of Tampa for limited solid waste processing. We have similar agreements with Hillsborough County and Pasco. This provides one more outlet should we need to exercise that for when our waste energy facility is down.
Move approval.
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Egger, second by Commissioner Long. Clerk will open the board. Commissioners will proceed to vote. Passes 5-0. Item 39.
Cooperative funding agreement with Southwest Florida Water Management District for John Chestnut Park Aquifer Storage and Recovery. This project consists of design and construction to manage aquifer recharge wells, aquifer storage, and recovery systems. This project really works in conjunction with the Reclaim Master Plan for North County. You can see the amount, $1.7 million with $893,000 in grant funds.
Move approval.
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Flowers, second by Commissioner Long. Commissioner Eggers.
Yeah, could they just give us a short
Megan, she's on her way
version
up.
of this,
Yep.
please? I just hadn't heard as much about it, other than the hope to finding some more reclaim. But go ahead.
Yes, good afternoon, Megan Ross, Director of Utilities. And this is an innovative project that is part of our North County Reclaimed Water Master Plan that was presented to the board a few years ago. And what essentially we are doing is we are trying to leverage the stormwater from Lake Tarpon to supplement our reclaimed water system so we can utilize that water that typically drains into Tampa Bay, creating nutrient issues there. And we can store that water in an underground storage aquifer and then bring that water back up in the dry season and pump it into our reclaimed water system so customers can utilize that water beneficially on their lawns and gardens.
I think that's awesome. And there's no interaction with any of our wells that we use for our own water here in Pinellas County.
Correct,
So
yeah.
some people think about injection wells as a problem, but in this case, we don't have any interaction with our water source.
Correct, no interaction there.
Yeah.
Yep.
Thank you.
Move approval.
Thank you.
Second.
We already have a motion. We already have one.
Oh.
That's all right.
Oh, sorry.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Come on up, David. You have 3 minutes to address the board.
Yes, Commissioners, David Ballard Geddes Jr. I live on 802 Georgia Avenue in Palm Harbor. I am adamantly opposed against direct injecting reclaimed water into our aquifer. The chlorine that's being used to treat the aquifer or to treat the reclaimed water goes inert within a matter of hours or days at best. So what's remaining is a nitrate load that we have directly injected into our aquifer. That nitrate load, like a petri dish, will grow overnight and contaminate our entire aquifer. Anaerobically injecting reclaimed water into the aquifer, it disallows proper decomposition without the aid of oxygen. As water percolates through the soil, it has time to filter and it has time to aerobically work its way down to the aquifer. To inject what was a toilet product with chlorine into the aquifer, reclaimed water is water that comes from our toilets, comes from our storm waters. It's wastewater that's treated with chlorine, and that chlorine goes inert, and we're contaminating our aquifer unnecessarily so. And I feel as though the science on this needs to be questioned before we further with the SHARP and the TAP program or any of these so-called injection wells. Thank you.
And I just want to...
Commissioner Eggers.
Yeah, and if Megan is available to confirm or not, but this actually is going to be water that we're using that's not reclaimed. It will be used to supplement our reclaimed effort that we're using on our lawns now. But this actually will not be capturing reclaimed water. I just want to make sure I'm clear on that. That's why I asked that question earlier. Correct.
Yes, that's correct. This is water from Lake Tarpon, so this is not reclaimed water in this project.
Will be used to augment our reclaimed water.
Exactly.
It
We will be
used-
using that water to supplement and
Yeah.
augment our reclaimed water system.
In effect,
Yeah.
diluting the reclaimed water, if you want to look at it the way that
Yes.
David was referring to. Okay,
Correct.
thank you. Appreciate it.
Further questions? We have a motion and a second. Clerk will open the board. Commissioners will proceed to vote. Passes 6-0. Item 40.
This is the first amendment to guaranteed maximum price with Ben Rowe Enterprises. Now, and what in essence this is the valves components for our automatic SCADA system and real-time monitoring. So this is, it's a design build, so they had to first do the design. Now this is the second phase, which is actually implementation. Total amendment of the contract amount is $4.5 million for a total revised contract amount of $5.4.
Move approval.
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Long, second by Commissioner Peters. Clerk will open the board. Commissioners will proceed. Oh, I'm sorry, Commissioner Eggers.
Yeah, just, the amendment increases the original contract amount by 4.5 million. I'm assuming because we've added construction?
That's correct. Phase one is to look at
That's
what
fine.
your design services, and
Okay.
phase two is to do it.
Okay, thank you.
Clerk will open the board. Commissioners will proceed to vote. Passes unanimously, 6-0. Item 41.
It's an agreement with Weirdmark Technologies for support hours and software development for ongoing professional services, as this is a task-by-task basis. Total grant agreements not to exceed $533,000.
Move approval.
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Peters, second by Commissioner Long. Clerk will open the board. Commissioners will proceed to vote. Passes unanimously. At this point, we're going to take a 15-minute recess and come back for item 42.
All right.
We'll come back to order. Item 42.
Item 42, as you recall, we did the previous ones. There were two. They're outstanding for the Advanced Life Support First Responder Agreements. This is with the City of St. Petersburg and St. Pete Beach.
Move approval.
Second.
Motion from Commissioner Long, second from Commissioner Peters. Further discussion. Clerk will open the board. Commissioners will proceed to vote. Passes unanimously. Item 43.
This item is a fire protection service agreement with the City of St. St. Petersburg for fire protection services in South Pasadena Fire District. There's ongoing discussions regarding this, but this is a continuation of the current agreement. We are talking about alternative ways of addressing this in the future, though.
And the city is on board?
The city is on board with this. They don't want a smaller agreement. They want to work towards a long-term
Yeah,
agreement.
okay. I thought it was only, I'm sorry, Mr. Chair, I thought it was only a 1 year and not a 2, so I was surprised to see it's a 2 year.
Well, we put it in 2, but if there's an out clause, we can cancel it at any time. So if we come up to an agreement that's suitable for its replacement, we just didn't want to have to do 2 1-year
Got it.
agreements.
Thank you.
Good question.
Move approval.
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Long, second by Commissioner Peters. Further discussion. Clerk will open the board. Commissioners will proceed to vote. Passes unanimously. Item 44.
And Bruce has been patiently awaiting this item so he can go home. This is a resolution approving issuance of single-family mortgage revenue bonds by the Housing Finance Authority. This is for various counties, so it's a joint program with the Housing Finance Authorities of various counties. This provides authorization, and this is for a 3-year period.
Move approval.
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Peters, second by Commissioner Flowers. Further discussion. Clerk will open the board. Commissioners will proceed to vote.
Anything else?
Passes unanimously. Item 45.
Under item number 45, this is a request to initiate litigation to file a foreclosure action to foreclose on some code enforcement liens as referenced in the agenda memo.
Move approval.
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Peters, second by Commissioner Long. Clerk will open the board. Commissioners will proceed to vote. Passes unanimously. Item 46.
Item 46 is a request to ratify litigation that has been filed with the Chair's authority. This is an animal cruelty case. I would like to just state for the record, the resolution that is referenced in your agenda memo, there's a Scribner's error there that should read 21-23. And I would also like to note that when we found that error, we looked at some of these from the past and found the same Scribner's error in a prior case that came before you on September 8th. Nothing that affects the validity of the action, but wanted to put that on the record and make sure that the clerk got that for the minutes.
Move approval.
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Peters, second by Commissioner Long. Clerk will open the board. Commissioners will proceed to vote. Passes unanimously. Item 47.
Under 47, this is a request to approve a confidential settlement in the matter that I discussed with each of you previously in a workers' compensation case.
Move approval.
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Long, second by Commissioner Peters. We're still showing a vote screen from the previous item.
Yeah.
Give her a second. All right, the new vote's there if you want to. Passes unanimously. Thank you very much. Item 48.
I have nothing under reports.
Item 49.
No additional report.
All right. We go to section 50 under the county commission. We will pull the individual appointments from Commissioner Gerard on item 50, 51, and 52. And with item 50, Mr. Administrator.
This is reappointments to the Board of Adjustments and Appeals.
Move
These are
approval.
individual appointments.
Motion from Commissioner Peters, second from Commissioner Eggers.
My screen is still stuck on my vote, and so I can't even.
Mine's
Just
gone.
tap your screen, it should go away.
Oh, thank you. Sorry.
We have motion and a second on item 50. Clerk will open the board. Commissioners will proceed to vote. Passes unanimously. And again, that's with Commissioner Eggers and Peters' appointments. Item 51.
This is reappointments to the Parks and Conservation Resources Advisory Committee. These are individual reappointments. And
All
as
right, you see on the list,
Move
Commissioner Long, Eggers, Peters, and Flowers, reappointments.
Move approval.
Second.
I thought I heard something down here, but I wasn't.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear you.
Motion by Commissioner Egger, second by Commissioner Peters. Clerk will open the board. Commissioners will proceed to vote. Passes unanimously. Item 52.
These are approval of 2 reappointments, only one with Commissioner Gerard being pulled.
Okay, so this is a Commissioner Egger's appointment of Sandy Bozeman to the Historical Commission.
Move approval.
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Egger, second by Commissioner Peters. Clerk will open the board. Commissioners will proceed to vote. Passes unanimously. All right. Item 53, selection of 2023 chair and vice chair.
Peters.
Commissioner Peters.
Yeah, I would like to make a motion that we put this off to the next meeting. I think we have 2 new members that are coming in, and it should be them that are included in the vote. So I'm hoping that you'd entertain that motion.
And I'll second it.
We have a motion and a second. Further discussion? Commissioner Long.
Oh, thank you. I wasn't even trying to formulate my thoughts because there were reasons why we were taking this vote today, as I recall, number one. And number two, I think that we're capable of taking the vote today and doing the right things. And so I'd like to have that opportunity. But of course, you know, if that's not what everybody wants to do, then that's not what everybody wants to do.
Commissioner Peters.
Just to kind of relate, I understand there's appointments that need to be made that would affect the January meetings. And I just, you know, I don't know, maybe we could carry over for 1 more month on the boards that we're at until they're done. I just want to be inclusive. I don't think anything's going to change. I just think we should, just like we didn't do the Gerard appointments, I think these are something that we should do, and we should be inclusive of the new members when they come on board. I really don't think anything's going to change as a result.
New members can do whatever they want if they're not happy with what we decide today.
That's true.
Further discussion?
Well, I just want to weigh in. Well, we've done this in the past where we have new commissioners coming on board. It's a timing issue only, that the new commissioners voted on the incoming group, and that's really what it should be about. It's just the right thing to do, and we have to work through the technical details. It's a little bit tougher once the chair is picked, but I think we can do it. It's just, I think it's the right thing to do.
Other thoughts?
I think that, Mr. Chair, I'm sorry, I believe that this has been agendized for today. It was noticed for today. I think we need to take the vote today. I don't believe you all delayed the vote when I came on board. So, and I have no problem with you know, whoever was picked to lead. Pat Gerard was going out. Commissioner Eggers was coming in. Charlie Justice was voted as the vice chair. So I'm going to support moving forward with the vote today.
Yeah, traditionally, the vote has been held at the election after, or the meeting after the election, and that typically has included the new members because it's been held after the swearing in of the new members. This is a meeting that we put on the calendar, and it's an earlier because of the Thanksgiving week, and no one wanted to meet during Thanksgiving week. We moved the meeting up to this week. Election was the last possible day it could be this year, so that's why we got into this little bit of a time crunch that normally we would not have. There is a legitimate issue, and it sounds like a minor one, but the appointment process is a substantial process to go through to get everyone organized to be ready to represent Pinellas at those boards come January. Further thoughts? Commissioner Seal.
I think we should, you know, personally, I think we should make a decision today, but I certainly understand the other viewpoint, and I guess I'll just throw it out there. My fear is that, and I guess we do operate under Robert's Rules of Order, but we don't operate under Robert's Rules technically, so it's always kind of been one of those places. So I guess my question would be, come January, would the new commission reverse the vote of whatever might be decided? And that's my fear. So I'm going to give you all a little perspective, and maybe I hesitated whether I was going to say this today, but I will say it. So when I was first appointed and then elected to the county commission, the Republicans were in the majority. It changed in 2012, and I'll go back to that time period, and
2014.
we were always respectful of each individual commissioner as a person and as an elected body from Pinellas County. And, you know, all politics are local, but on the other hand, what we do here in the county is all about infrastructure and serving people, and it doesn't really have a Republican or a Democratic number to it. So, so in 2012, when it's flipped to a Democratic majority, I took Commissioner Welch aside and I said, the only thing I want to say to you, and this is why I always respected him, was don't forget, when we were in the Republican majority, we were kind and we worked with one another.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, so as you all take the reins and you become a Democratic majority, please remember that and please be kind and let's continue to work with each other. And so that's my only message to you all today. We're all about Pinellas County. And so irregardless of where we go with this, I just would hate to see dissension happen come January. And so if you feel that that's going to take place, then I think we got to think about that.
I think it was 2014 with.
You're going to be a better historian than me now.
No?
It was 2014 with Commissioner Gerard's election.
That's correct.
And the
You're
departure
right.
of Commissioner Roach.
That's true. I was trying to look it back up. I don't have my files of paper anymore.
I think one of the first actions was the selection of Commissioner Maroney as chair.
That's right.
So there is that. Commissioner Flowers.
Thank you so much for saying that. First of all, I have on my own just removed my name from consideration for vice chair.
You did?
Because I'm doing that now.
Oh, okay.
Because as I thought about the processes when I served on city council, when I served on the school board, we didn't send out an email and say don't respond. It was a paper that went out to everyone that said, are you interested in serving as chair, vice chair, and if so, put your name. And then it went to the clerk, and then they just, at the meeting announced this is who's interested in running. So when you do that based on seniority, Commissioner Peters has seniority. And so I would like to be fair. So I've removed myself. That's number one. Number two, yes, persons can come in and they can go through the process and desire to have a reelection. I would hope that that would not be done, because that certainly would start off in a manner in which we have not participated in. Since I have been here, each one of you, in my opinion, have acted in a very professional and courteous manner while stating your opinions and your voice and your vote. And we don't have to always agree, but we have remained considerate, professional, and respectful of one another. I saw that happening as well prior to me coming here. And so I would hope that the individuals coming on board, that they will follow the same thing, because it's about the work of the county. It is not about the party, because when people are hungry, homeless, and jobless, it doesn't matter what party you're in. They just expect for us to come up with some policies that will help move that forward. So I just wanted to say that. So it's not a competition between myself and Commissioner Peters. Commissioner Peters has seniority, and I am more than happy to step aside and allow her to serve as vice chair. So again, I think we should just move forward with the vote today. If someone wants to do something later on, that's on them, but I think it would be just very disingenuous, and it would not, in my opinion, provide the level of respect and professionalism that this board has been able to exhibit over the years.
Commissioner Peters.
So I agree with you completely, and it would be only moved to the December meeting, not the January meeting. But I honestly feel, this is just how I feel about it, is if we wait till the December meeting, then we eliminate that even the notion that they're going to come and reverse something. And I don't think they're going to. I really don't believe they're going to. I just think that we should be inclusive of the new members coming on board. And it's not even about this. And I think it's going to go exactly the same way we all would probably have it go today. I just think it's appropriate that this is the year that they're going to serve, that they should have a say or at least a vote on who it is that's going to have the leadership while they serve in their first year. And I feel strongly about that. When I came in, I got sworn in and we voted at that meeting because it was the earliest I think the election could have happened, right? And so, but I had a voice and a say. And when I was new that first year, I was very quiet. There's a lot to learn that first year. Even though I've been in local government and government for a long time, the county's different. And so you're learning a lot, fire hose kind of stuff. You're touring all over the place and even going to Pasco County to see our water. And so there's a lot that they're going to be taking on next year. But I just don't think that we should take away their right to have a voice for who should be a leader for the first year that they're in office. And I think waiting until the December meeting, whoever gets elected chair, which I'm pretty certain nothing's going to change on that slate, that, after that it's done, they can make the appointments, and if we have to wait one more month to serve on the committees that we're already on, then we can vote on those at the first meeting in January. And I just think it starts on the right foot to honor their right for their choice on leadership without setting us up for something else to happen.
Okay.
Kind of my thought.
I just respond to one thing that she said, please. It's
Sure.
important. I do not want to wait until January for these folks to know the boards they're going to be sitting on, and here's why. Those boards are already starting. They're not they don't operate the same as we do, but they start off making their decisions right away. And I think our new people should have the opportunity to look at very thoughtfully at the boards that they want to sit on. So that's just my.
How about this for a third way? Why? If it hadn't been for the calendar, the new board would be voting, and that is true. Would we get consensus today? I mean, there's two things. We have commissioners. We have enough commissioners here that could make the vote that we could assure that it wouldn't change in December. But that being said, we have consensus to delegate authority to the vice chair to coordinate the appointment process of committees and boards, including asking for input from the two new commissioners, obviously, with the vice chair bringing a recommendation to the full board at the December meeting for appointments.
I think that's a great compromise.
Great idea.
That's a great compromise.
That's a great compromise.
I really do think
That
that's a
solves
great
that
one.
problem. It puts the vote and I think having the new commissioners have a say is absolutely appropriate. Mm-hmm. How's that?
Sounds good.
I would amend my motion to include that, because I think that's fair and reasonable, and it does give people enough time, and I think that's appropriate, that you do that as vice chair. I think that's very appropriate.
Good idea, Mr. Chair. And
All
you
right, I'm
said
saying
you,
good night.
you
I'm
said
going
you said you were tired from a trip, and you still. So. Very good.
All right.
So
We have a motion and a second. Further discussion? All in favor, or I'm sorry, clerk will open the board. Commissioners will proceed to vote on the motion.
That was good, Charlie.
That was good.
Passes unanimously. Thank you very much. Item 54, Commission of New Business, before we do other stuff.
I have a new business item.
Can I do this before? Skyway?
Okay, if you must.
I have a Skyway lighting request resolution from the March of Dimes for Prematurity Birth Awareness Month.
Move approval.
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Egger, second by Commissioner Peters. Clerk will open the board. Commissioners will proceed to vote.
Yes, for me,
Yes,
please.
I'm a yes, too.
Oh, it's there now, I think.
Who are we missing? Commissioner Flowers.
I asked her to put me as a yes.
Commissioner Flowers is a yes. It passes unanimously. All right. Commissioner Long, you're recognized.
Thank you so much, and the reason I jumped right out and said what I said is because I didn't want to forget. And so, given your recent exercise in leadership, Mr. Chair, I wanted to make sure that we handled this before Commissioner Seal was no longer still with us. And so if you would please stand up.
Stand up.
Yes, as on behalf of every one of us that have worked with you for a year, we want to offer you this little appreciation for your leadership and very thoughtful way which you've handled our board meetings all year long.
Thank you very much.
And I didn't cry. There.
Thank you very much. I
You
appreciate
did a great job.
I appreciate that very much, and I'm incredibly proud to serve the people of Pinellas. I'm incredibly proud to represent you as a board. At times, I'm incredibly proud to represent the 3,000 employees that we have that do work every single day. And when you get to be chair, you get to represent the board at certain events, and it really is a great honor and a great thrill. And so, thank you very much for this token of appreciation. It means a lot to me. And I do. Before we do other new business, I do want to take a moment to recognize, I wanted to separate it from the beginning of what we did at the beginning of the meeting, but I want to recognize Commissioner Pat Gerard for her service to the board for 8 years and her lifetime of service to Pinellas County with the city of Largo as well. I'm 100% confident she is not watching the meeting today. She's enjoying a well-deserved trip, but I do want to recognize and thank her for her contributions to the county. And I do want to recognize in the audience Commissioner-elect Brian Scott and congratulate him on his victory. And we look forward to welcoming you officially next week. Further, Commissioner Eggers.
Yeah, I just had a couple things, and of course, the couple of things are MPO and Tampa Bay Water, so I've got, I'll try to keep it short. I don't have a lot on the MPO, but we did elect our officers for 2023. So our treasurer is going to be Council Member Albritton. Our secretary will be Mayor Bujalski. Our vice chair will be Commissioner Michael Smith, and our chair will be Commissioner Long. So we have our team ready for next year.
You know that?
Yes, I did.
yeah.
Thank you.
Just making sure.
I
And,
missed a meeting and they decided to.
Then we had 3 appointments to the TMA, which is a regional organization, and that'll be Councilwoman and Chair Gina Driscoll, myself, and Commissioner Long. And a statewide MPOAC, I'll be on that representing our local MPO. And the only other thing about MPO, there is some ongoing discussion, and we'll have more of that discussion in December about a MPO merger in the region. So it's very preliminary. They're going to be having discussion. They're at some point going to want to get each of the county commissioners to weigh in as well, the county commission boards. A lot of work going down in that path, and they'll start some of that early conversation next month. So that's all I have for MPO. Just on Tampa Bay Water, there's a lot going on just for the residents of Pinellas County. The reservoir is full, so we're good in the off season for when we get into the shortage of water, rainwater coming down. So we got plenty of reservoir water for use. Desal plant will be coming online this month, so it provides quite a bit of water to the system for about 5 to 6 months. There is an ongoing, I can't get into the discussion because we are doing a lot of behind closed door discussion about lawsuits against 3M and DuPont. DuPont? No, 3M and...
It's DuPont, but mostly 3M with Florida. DuPont's in other states.
Yeah, okay. So anyway, there's some lawsuits going on about PFAS and PFAOs. They're pollutants that get into the water. We're just starting to go down that. There was a motion to start getting samples for our water supply sources. So in any event, that's just starting, and we're going to start talking about reclaimed water as an asset and have a reclaim workshop next month to start getting input from all of the different member governments as to what we do with the excess reclaimed water. So that's all I got.
Thank you.
Try to be quick as I could.
Commissioner Peters, anything?
No, he took care of it.
All right. Commissioner Flowers?
Nothing.
Commissioner Long?
Yeah, I do have a couple things. That, the Janus Landing annual dinner was last Saturday night. It's always such a lovely, lovely event, and I wanted to share with you that there were almost a dozen young students who received scholarships from the Janus Society for their continuing education in flight. And what was really outstanding, 8 of the folks were young women. And so, but that's who's going to be flying our future passenger planes. And I just thought it was really exciting. And I do want to remind you once again that the Regional Planning Council Summit is May 3rd, 4th, and 5th, and it's at the Trade Winds, and it is really rounding out to be a spectacular 3-day summit. So I hope you'll all try to attend at least part of it.
A question.
Yeah.
On that event that you had on Saturday night, is that always on? It seemed to me that it was during the week before. Is it been?
It's always been, as long as I've been here, it's
Saturday
always
evening?
been on a Saturday evening.
Has it been on Saturday evening? Okay.
I think so.
Right.
It used to be, it's been bounced back before Clearwater Beach and Illinois.
All right, maybe.
Yeah, and only one time since I've been here have they ever held it over in Tampa. And there was a reason for that, and I can't quite remember what it was. But
For some reason, it's Saturday night. It didn't work.
it
for
is
me, but
pretty
yeah,
historical,
yeah.
though, because, you know, St. Petersburg is the birth of flight
Yeah.
for commercial airlines.
I'm glad you mentioned about the women, young women receiving the scholarships. I flew home last night, and when you're exiting, you exit through Bessie Coleman Parkway, and she was the first African American to hold a pilot's license. And so, long history in Tampa Bay for recognizing that. So that's awesome.
Wow.
Anything else?
Nope, that's it.
All right, Commissioner Seal.
Okay. Well, I'm going to give my, I'm recycling, reusing, and passing on. So,
Oh, boy. We're going to be here a while.
I'll start with my next door neighbor first. This, and I have some comments to follow this very briefly. So I found this is where deed restrictions fail. And because you have so much of unincorporated county in your district, then
Thank you.
you get to enjoy that. And if you don't have a St. Pete Clearwater pin, you got that.
So now the people that call in, I'll just send this picture and say, don't complain. Let's look at this.
I also have an article that was recently in about Heritage Village. Okay, so Kathleen, you get my crystal elephant.
Aw, that's adorable. Thank you.
And which color would you like?
Oh, I'll take that one.
Okay.
That's adorable.
She got the right animal.
I feel like Christmas.
Christmas comes over.
All right, Renee.
I can't
My
believe
little Ralph Waldo Emerson plaque
Oh,
that
yes.
talks about living, laughing often, and winning the respect of people. Because I thought that just fit.
Thank you.
This is my feng shui. This is for you. So when you get really frustrated, you can rearrange and add all kinds of things. And
Lovely.
which color?
I'll do green for AKA.
Okay.
I'll do green.
All right. So you get blue. And then finally,
This is nice. I like this poem.
they don't do this anymore, but I figured you're a Bucks fan, so you might like
Oh,
Memento
wow.
from the Glazier family.
Oh, that's
Oh,
wonderful.
my goodness, that's
Don't
beautiful.
show that to Eggers.
And there's, if you all didn't see that, this is this is just in the paper on Heritage Village. And because you all so magnificently gave me that beautiful magnolia tree, I just couldn't resist.
That's nice.
Yeah.
It's not even, it's the new stadium. Is it?
This grocery store looks like the one on the Waltons.
It does.
That's awesome.
I used to love, they used to have a car show there. That was the best classic car show.
I
And it
don't
had
want you to
be-
forget
yeah.
Heritage Village and that whole Pinewood Cultural
And it
Garden.
had to be a classic.
All right, so before I get into my comments, I meant to bring this up first, but did you all got my memo about the plaque, the artistic plaque at the St. Pete Clearwater Airport in honor of Sally Parks? And I would like to make a motion that we accept this offer by the airport and work with them to make this happen.
I'll second.
Okay.
We have a motion from Commissioner Seal, second from Commissioner Flowers.
And I turned mine off, so it's going to have to be verbal. Yes.
We'll do a voice vote. How about
That'd
that?
be good.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye. Aye.
Any opposed? Show it passes unanimously.
Thank you. We really deserve to recognize her. And I thought about the magnolia tree. That was like such a perfect, tribute to me. Well, she was such an avid traveler and, 70 countries or whatever. And I just thought, wouldn't that be great? Her final flight, she'll kind of be recognized in a special place. So thank you all for that. Okay, so that was easy. So Charlie, I get to start with you, and this is very short. I tried to make it so I didn't. I tried to make it timely and full of treasure and witty, hopefully. Okay, so Charlie, you are witty. You got a great sense of humor and perspective. You're kind. You're nice, and then the tagline is you're a genuine gentleman.
Thank you very much.
Okay, Janet.
Uh-oh.
Can't pass up. You're irreverent, spunky. You work so hard, and you do a lot of research, and I would call you a sassy futurist.
I like that.
There you go.
Lovely, thank you. I can't wait to tell my husband.
I think he already knew that part.
The sassy part.
Dave, you have the hardest district in many ways. You work hard for your constituents. And I'm going to use a little rotary phrase. You put service before self.
Thank you.
Renee, you're smart. You're dedicated. You have flair. You do your homework. You have great knowledge coming from the school board as well as the St. Pete Council. You're candid and you're charming.
CC like Chanel.
Okay. Kathleen, you're all about mental health and addiction, and you really care for those in challenging situations. You're passionate and dedicated. So I had one for Pat as well. She's kind and understanding, gracious. She gave her best. She shone during COVID, and she is a sincere public servant. So as to Jewel and Barry, I'm going to put you together but not take you apart. Some of my greatest, we only hire and fire 2 people. And so I feel like amongst our greatest accomplishments, and it's really all of us, is that we chose the best county attorney ever, and we chose the best county administrator ever. And so that's one of my, I feel like, greatest accomplishments in leaving is that we have good people at the helm that are doing great things for Pinellas County. And so I look at Della and I have to smile. I mean, I really would like to mention each and every person, but I'm going to miss somebody if I do that. So all I can tell you as county employees are you are the heart and the soul. And you do great things every day to set the standard for service in Pinellas County that far outreaches many other places in the United States. You're always sincere, you are always prepared, and you care a lot. And that is so, so important. So thank you for being the greatest staff ever. Thanks to everybody out there. And I just can't tell you how much I appreciate you, each and every one of you. So that's it.
Awesome. Wonderful.
Thank you. That was nice.
You did a great job, Karen.
Anything else for the good of the order, Mr. Administrator?
Just one item. You have one item left on your agenda.
Oh.
That is the FAC.
FAC conference sponsorships.
Oh, I forgot about that.
We were leaving on such a
Ooh,
good
we could have.
I was trying to get attention, but I didn't.
Yeah, I know.
Why can't it be on a good note, David?
Is there questions, discussion?
What is the,
The administrator sent a memo, but Barry, do you want to recap the
Yeah,
memo?
so I sent you some information. So you were asking regarding how we look at something like this from a CVB, and you know, from a CVB, we have host conferences like this every day in most hotels around. So it's really not a CVB issue. Something like this, they would do something small, you know, and so it's beyond that. It's whether you want to provide a sponsorship level, which they did provide. They said if you provide a funding level, then they would do the following things in acknowledgement for that contribution. But it's not really a CVB issue. So I would recommend it if you want to do something and you want to do a sponsorship level, we take it out of the general fund, not out of CVB.
And is there are we staying at that high number, or is there a lower number?
I look to the board. You put it on.
I don't remember
agenda, so I'm not gonna.
if there were levels, but
Did we ever, I think I'd ask Chris, I can't remember, did we ever find out how much we pay in dues annually to FAC already?
Yeah. I thought we'd look.
we got
that
the
up.
regional planning dollar amount. That I
Yeah,
think
we
you
did,
said.
but I then asked for the FAC.
But yeah,
I think we make a pretty good,
it's based on population.
It's
so we
based on
do.
population.
So we, you know, I mean, we provide sponsorship that way. And as I said before, there's been 2 other sponsorships that for the counties. Miami provided one, and that was largely because it was in a high-cost county. So they provided some offsetting costs, and I think that's where the $25,000. The only other time a county has donated something like this is that Leon County does that for the fly-in day, you know, for the lobby day.
Right.
Okay.
And I did provide you all with someone asked, what do you get for your money? So I did send that to you all, what that sponsorship level. I hope we do something because it's a wonderful organization. They support a lot of initiatives that we bring forward. Myself, Charlie, and Janet chair committees there, so we have a lot of say in helping to fashion and create the legislative agenda. And the conference that's going to be here at the Hilton is the legislative conference. So
It
I hope
is,
that we
and I agree with Renee, and all 3 of us have served in leadership roles at FAC.
and serve on the board.
And now we have our 2 colleagues who are poised to take on leadership roles at NACO, and I'm sure that there's going to be some things that we'll want to support through Renee and Commissioner Peters and their efforts. And also, I think when you have an opportunity to highlight these national organizations that are picking our county to put their signature events in, it's nice to be able to say that we are helping them. That's just my thought.
Would there be an appetite to sponsor at a 10,000 level instead of 25,000?
I have I have concerns about the way it came about, the precedent that it like Mr. Administrator said about no other counties really doing it out of the 65. I'd want to, I guess if we come back and have another event in Pinellas in a few years and we had a chance to kind of frontline it and work on what that agenda would look like and things like that, I'd be much more interested. But I have a hard time doing it out of general fund, to be honest with you.
I do too.
So, thoughts,
It
questions,
would
emotion?
set a precedent, in my opinion, because, I mean, then you're opening it up for NACO, you're opening it up for everybody. You know, when we did do something through the TDC some years ago for FAC, but it was done through the TDC, and it was a major, major gathering here in Pinellas County, as I recall. So
I don't know about that, and I would think this is. I don't
years ago.
remember how many people have coming, but I would want our CVB to work as far as providing, you know, welcome bag or something like that. I'd be all for.
Yep.
That kind of level of activity. Questions, discussion, or motion? Or no activity?
I think since it's from the majority is that no participation on that level.
What?
I said, I believe it sounds like the consensus is that there's a desire not to sponsor on any level.
I don't think it's right.
We have an event fund, right? Don't we put like $10,000 in an event fund?
Yeah.
And I don't know if we've ever used that event fund since we put it in place, 3 years ago?
Yes, we have.
Have we used it?
Mm-hmm. Tables at
different
tables at
events.
organizations that aren't
Okay.
covered by the LETF fund.
So, okay, all right, so we're not using the law enforcement and people have been using that, okay, because I've never
For
used
some
that.
things, you'd have to look at each.
Well,
each
and
of
so
them.
my thought is if you're passionate about that, maybe we would agree to use, maybe not all of it, the 10, but maybe 5, if that's something you want to consider, because that's out of our event stuff, if that's something you're passionate about and you want to use versus the general
I mean,
fund.
I feel strongly about it, and I also think that I don't understand why we can't take it from the TDC.
Those people that will be attending the conference will be putting revenue back into.
But heads and beds, we have,
Well, so you certainly can. Okay, so the TDC, you control the TDC fund. So you certainly can. But the TDC gets requests by conferences every day. And so they look at the attendance levels and they say, and they have an amount per. And under the calculation, that would be about $1,000. Okay, under this. That's what they would apply for any other conference that would come in and ask for sponsorship. And so that's how they look at those, because again, we have conferences all the time.
we are a tourist destination.
Sure.
And when we do, we're receiving large sums of money in return.
So that's how they calculate out that return on investment. And I would just caution about using their funds at a disproportionate, because they constantly get asked for more money for different conferences than what they traditionally provide. So they have a formula that talks about that return on investment.
Commissioner Seal.
Well, our clerk of the circuit court sent me, our fact dues are $107,122.
How much? 107.
$107,122. Thank you, Ken. Just so
All right.
you know.
A lot of dues.
Hearing no motion. Hearing no motion. We have no 6 o'clock public hearing scheduled for tonight. There's nothing else for the good of the order.
I'm supposed to tell Brian that.
Brian, I'm sorry, we have a 6 o'clock. Come back.
You're the new guy, so.
Anything else for the good of the order? And one last time, thank you, Commissioner Seal.
Thank you. Thank you all.
We are adjourned.
Thanksgiving.